What is happening, people? It's your boy Delboy here, and I'm here with the main man, the founder, the pro wrestler, the damn good professional, David Francisco. And we're here to announce the winner of our competition that we did. We linked up together. We thought, you know what? Let's give one person 2 tickets to the upcoming event. And who did we decide, David?
You did. You found them. It was random.
Well,
but we did check the rules, and they're following you. That's my phone, right?
Oh yeah, that's your phone.
They're following you, and they're following purpose.
And the winner is Official Wolfie. Big you up, bro. We're about to DM you right now. You're gonna get your tickets and enjoy the show. Live wrestling. Make sure you vlog. Make sure you at everybody that you see on the live. Jesus,
the live show.
Make sure you at everyone see at the live show, and make sure you come and see David and give him a big hug. I mean, COVID restrictions. Make sure you shake his hand and say thank you.
That's no COVID restrictions.
Oh, I don't know. I'm tired.
You wave at me from outside.
Wave at him from outside.
And if you guys want to check what you were talking about, at Wrestle Purpose on Twitter, Purpose Wrestling on Instagram, purposewrestling.com is where you can find everything. Show is this Friday, and I think it's sold out. So
it's sold out.
You missed out.
Mess up. Yo, what's happening, people? You're listening to the WRESTHINGS podcast, the Kenny Omega approved podcast. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, you already know this podcast is by the man them, for the man them. Bow! You still have to speak directly to the microphone.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yo, episode 70. Whoa, look at me, bro. Episode 85.
It's 80.
Episode 80. Fucking elevate. Trust me, man.
Alright, give a clap for 80, man. 80 episodes.
Road to 100.
Yeah. How's your lot's day been, by the way, man? My day's been so hectic, bro. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, normally we start the podcast at 6, but look at the time now. It's 7. I'm gonna have to extend this shit to Fergie time. How's your lot's day been?
It's been alright.
Yeah.
It's been alright. The weather's unpredictable because I don't know what to wear these days. Because one day is raining, the next day is summertime. So
Yeah, we're getting a heat wave next. Whoa, I can hear myself. Is it me?
I can.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's low key still.
Yeah. Hello? Testing. What the hell?
Yeah, turn off for the mics. I mean, turn off for the headphones.
Yes, that, yeah. Hello. Testing. 1 2 1 2. Okay. Yeah. I can hear myself. What the fuck? Can you hear yourself? Can you hear me?
Maybe it's just a voice in your head. Have you thought about that? Maybe it's just in here.
Great. Can you not hear yourself double?
Take off your headphones.
I ain't got headphones on.
Take it off. You've got headphones on. Take it off.
Hey, yo, I'm losing my shit, man. Sorry, man. It's a hectic day, man. Before I talk about last week, obviously the Verzuz clash. I wanted to talk about it quickly. You guys catch that?
The Locks and Dipset.
Yeah.
Dipset got washed. I can't even.
If anybody thought the Locks wasn't gonna win, they're skunks. I'm sorry. The Locks are too grimy.
Do you know what it is? It's like
Dipset is just finesse.
Yeah, they're very cool, like very like, yo, man, my stag, my sweet, my steez, but it's like with Locks, they're all like war ready.
The Locks are better performers, like, and there was you can tell there's actual chemistry between all of them.
Dipset didn't look like Dipset came in like they weren't friends.
They broke. They've had beef in the past and stuff.
I'm
so they're probably baffed of us. What we're talking about.
No idea. I'm like, you can talk about whatever you're talking. You can talk about EastEnders. I have no idea.
Okay, how can I? What's the best way of saying it?
It's just
rap music. It's like a rap battle.
It's a rap battle. Yeah.
It was dope. I think it was the best verses I've seen.
No, yeah,
best.
No. Yeah,
better than Beanie Man versus what's the name?
In terms of rap, that was the best one. Yeah,
oh,
but the Beanie Man and thing was best one. Yeah.
You know, Nelly and Ludacris. I can't hear. Can you do that again?
Nah, I just think this one is because of the audience, because of the crowd, and because of where
the crowd
it was
was
as well.
Because
of where it was as well.
Madison Square Garden and Michael Buffer as well.
It felt grand, didn't it?
Wait a second. Are you telling me there was a rap battle?
Yeah.
In Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
With Michael Buffer as a.
Yeah. But the only thing that pissed me off, is the fact that the only thing that pissed me off was the fact that they didn't get Michael Buffer to say, "Let's get ready to rumble." He said, "Let's get ready for this bat. Let's get ready for this battle." I was like, what the hell?
Maybe boxing has some sort of copyright on it?
Yeah. No, but he owns that. He owns that. Let's get ready to rumble. That's his thing. Yeah, he's not boxing on it. He owns it because it came from WCW. He was doing WCW before boxing. Do you remember? Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew he did it there.
He was doing. I swear he was doing WCW
before boxing. He wasn't the
boxing.
official announcer for WCW. I don't think.
But
he did do it like here.
But he wasn't doing boxing. He wasn't doing boxing sometimes, was he?
I think he was.
I swear he wasn't.
Michael Buffer's always been in boxing.
He's
think-
always
I
sure.
think The
He's always
reason
been-
why he was in WCW
Because of boxing.
because of how the fame that he had in boxing.
Yeah.
Let me-
Also,
let me-
like
let me-
Tyson was before,
Let me do
right?
some. Let me do some.
Yeah.
And they wanted to
Let
get
me do
the
some
credibility,
Googles.
so bring them in for the.
Yeah, that's what, he wasn't there.
Are you
initially.
sure Michael Buffer was in
I'm
box?
not sure. I may be wrong on this.
I think he was in boxing before.
Okay, he's a ring announcer. Yeah, cool. I clocked what the echo
There's
is.
no,
It's
like,
still-
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no way that he could become famous because of WCW.
WCW.
I refuse to believe that. I'm so sorry.
Wait.
To be fair, he came in when he was hot.
Okay, you're right. You're right. He
Yeah,
started
they
boxing.
gave
He
him
started the
boxing,
boxing thing in 1983 as a ring announcer, but the catchphrase came in 1984. That's his after a year after starting. That's
So
nice.
it's way before WCW.
Yeah, way before. Yeah.
Can I give you a hot take?
Go on.
Bruce Buffer
It's better than Michael.
is better than Michael Buffer.
I believe so.
Bruce Buffer.
UFC.
Ring announcer, his brother.
Yeah, you.
What's he? What? How's he say? What's his catchphrase?
They're brothers.
Well, what's his?
The way he looks in like the fighter's eyes
Yeah,
when
no.
he's saying.
Oh
their
wait, I know this guy. I know this guy.
Dude is like he did.
Wait, that's his brother. That's his blood brother.
That's his brother. Yeah, they're brothers. He
Shizzle.
did nothing for the other 23 and a half
That's
hours
nuts.
of the day, only to step in the
Trust me.
octagon and freaking look that man in the eye. He was saving energy for that. And I love it. I love you, Bruce.
No, Bruce
What's your
Buffer.
feet?
Yeah, no,
Bruce
is the
Buffer's
goat,
gold.
man.
He's the gold, man.
That's mad. I didn't even know that.
I'll 40 one day.
That's mad, man. Episode 80 of the Wrestling's podcast. I'll go by the name of the foolish professional Anarfi. To my left, are we gonna go around and introduce ourselves?
But that's it, Grop. You say, Daddy. Grop.
Daddy.
Grop.
Daddy.
It's the strong style rating, leg drop hating, big back robbing, Kosherko loving, son of a gun. It's your boy Delboy, aka Swoldy Lee, aka the Red Velvet to your, no, the Black Velvet to your Red Velvet, aka the Cargill Maniac, aka Pro Grop Tees, aka Nostalgia Police, aka a man's got a fresh trim. You see
Trust me. Hi.
No more Sheamus this year, man. Gone back to the fade, man.
I'm gonna go back though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to like grey silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cisco thing.
I'm quick master Cisco, you know.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun. Yo, people, it's your boy NK, aka the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, aka the Hood's Japanese correspondent. We are in the building.
Okay, brick it.
Yo, people, it's your boy Laps. The main event liver and champagne sipper. Back again for that wrestle talk, that smack talk, that Kenny Omega approved talk. We're getting that smackdown in the kitchen talk.
What?
That gets in
the kitchen?
Thank you.
I forgot my promo.
Sorry, man,
I
sorry.
forgot. Give me that's like a 0 out of 10 for me.
You see you,
took you out
yeah?
of it.
You've gone from WrestleMania
Fam, you got wrestle.
to Backlash to Heat. You're even gonna go shotgun Saturdays, so you be careful.
It's gonna be back in the canteen soon. I
I
swear
don't
to
know
you.
what's happening.
Back in
Did I
catering.
kill your vibe? Is that what it was? Was
No,
it me?
no.
You can be honest.
Absolutely not. My promos have been dropping each and every
You feel
episode.
so?
He's moving like Baron Corbin,
Need to
basically.
go back to promo class, man.
He's basically Baron Corbin.
Extended it. Let's hit me, man. No, you gotta hit me first, bro. You gotta hit me first.
What's going on? It's your boy Lucci V, aka VRSYJNES, aka the Married Master Man, coming from South London, home of the
Roadside G's.
best part of London, home of the
Roadside
Roadside G's. I'm back, living life. Let's go.
And
Very special.
very
Special guest.
Very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
And I'm David.
Give me that fire, bro. Cool. I respect that still. I respect that. Hey, David, man.
It's David Francisco, a damn good professional wrestler. The Ric Flair to your Horseman, the Hogan to your WWF era, the Shawn Michaels to your Rockers, the Shawn Michaels to your dudes with attitudes, the Shawn Michaels to your new generation, the Okada to your Chaos. The Shawn Michaels
Look at this guy. This guy, trust me, bro. Hey, let's go.
There's a part
good.
of my body right
Go. Go on,
You have to
Dave.
start again. I'm
You
not
have to
gonna
read
lie.
It's David Francisco, a damn good professional wrestler. The Ric Flair to your Horseman, the Hogan to your WWF era, the Shawn Michaels to your Rockers, the Shawn Michaels to your dudes with attitudes, the Shawn Michaels to your new Attitude era. New Attitude? Oh, new generation era. The Okada to your Chaos. The Tanahashi to your New Japan. The Shawn Michaels to your D-Generation X. The Shawn Michaels to those dirty ass brown tights. What was he?
Oh yeah, what the hell? Yeah, the Elimination Chamber in it. Yeah, I remember that.
The Shawn Michaels to your DX reboot. The Shawn Michaels to your WrestleMania. Can you tell who my favorite wrestler is?
Shawn Michaels.
And above everything, the David Francisco to British wrestling. David Francisco.
Let's go. I can't lie.
That's up
That
there.
has to be top 3 intros
I think
you've
it's
ever
top
had.
2. I'm not
Screw
gonna
you,
lie.
old
Top 3.
JMO.
Yeah. Oh, fam, that's jokes. That's jokes.
Boy, lads, where do we start? Let's start with
David.
Alright, yeah.
David,
Yes.
talk to me. Let me know what you're about, fam. Chat to
man.
me.
How did you start?
Yeah.
I've been wrestling for, what is this, August? I almost have been wrestling for more than half my life. I started
shit.
wrestling when I was 14 in Portugal. I did that for 8 years there. I decided I wanted to pursue more of wrestling. I kind of did everything there was to do there. There wasn't much to do there. But love my time and I'm very proud of it. But it was time to take a next step. So I moved here to London 6 years ago. And I've been involved in wrestling ever since. I've been training at the school connected with Progress. So the Projo then became Knuckle Locks. And eventually I am now one of the trainers at Knuckle Locks. I've been wrestling a little bit all over the country. But Progress, for example, might be the biggest stage is definitely Wembley. When I was in that pre-show, in that freaking Battle Royal, was 4,500 people around. It was just there's a really cool moment of me just standing on the corner and I'm just looking around.
Just taking it in.
This isn't about me, right? This is just a thank you by Progress, because they basically got everyone that somehow had any role in Progress until they got there. But that wasn't on the main show. They wanted to have on the Battle Royal just as a thank you, you know?
Yeah.
So it was just that, having that experience. I just want to exactly what you're saying, soak it in, right? That was pretty cool. Been doing a lot of stuff here in London mainly, and debuted for Rev Pro this weekend.
Oh, sick. Sick.
How was that?
So they did a students show in Portsmouth.
Oh, sick.
And we went training there. And unfortunately, Yojima wasn't able to wrestle this weekend because of an injury, which means that's a story for another day. And which means there was a spot available, and I was kindly asked to do it. So technically, I've wrestled for a Rev Pro ring for the first time.
Sick,
Pretty
man.
cool.
That's dope, man.
First Portsmouth, then York Hall.
Yep.
There you go.
That's dope.
And then the
Cheers.
world.
Trust me,
One day,
fam.
man. And I've been very involved in wrestling. Obviously, a wrestler, number one focus. A trainer, now a promoter.
Yeah.
Today I'm having a show.
Yeah. Purpose Wrestling, man.
Thank you. I was gonna say come down, but there's no point. It's sold out.
Nice.
Sorry.
That's something to celebrate about, man. Come on, man.
That's great.
That's something to celebrate about, man.
Yeah, and King of Content. Right? You want to see my vlogs? You want to see some
Yeah, I've
highlights?
seen
You want to hear
your
my
vlogs, your
podcast? DeFrancisco_1.
Yeah, pluggy.
Yeah, it's really cool. I wasn't expecting a sellout, and I think one of the reasons why we got a sellout at the Wimbledon Library, Merton Art Space, is because there was people doing shows there before us, and they did the job of building up the venue and making it a cool place for wrestling to exist. And I kind of picked up where they left off, you know? So the fact that I can really honestly say I have a sellout it's crazy. And I wasn't expecting it. I'm very happy with it. It's going to be an awesome show. You guys are coming?
We should be.
Putting you on the spot now.
Should be, yeah.
You guys are coming? Are you?
Are you guys coming?
Yeah, you guys coming, yeah.
No, it will be a really cool show. And guess what? If by any chance you don't get to come, it's going to be on VOD.
Okay,
Every
sick.
Purpose Wrestling show is
Sick,
going to be on VOD. And yeah, that's it.
Big, man.
No, it's really cool, man. It's just with coronavirus, and then with stuff that happened in speaking out and everything. It's just everything that's been happening the past 2 years. There was 2 very strong local companies in London that died. Right, one of them is the one that was doing the venue that we're doing now, Soul, right, and the other one is Battle Pro. As soon as I became Battle Pro champion, it died. Maybe I should take the hint.
Oh, no.
And basically, it's there is no one there's from the way I see it, because I also have the perspective of like being a trainer, and then I'm involved in like the biggest national level companies, right? There isn't a bridge. And those two companies were the bridge, right? You guys had, if I can keep bringing the OGMO up, you guys had him here, and he will be the first one to say that he got ready to do that crazy match that you guys saw at the 229 a few weeks ago by gaining experience and learning and honing his craft at lower level companies, local level companies, right? That are kind of like a smooth step-by-step way for you to eventually get to the big leagues, right?
Yeah.
And considering stuff like Ref Pro and Progress, like those are to be the two major companies at a national-wide level, right? And I think it was really important for there to be a platform for talents at the same level as Mike was before to develop and to showcase themselves and be able to gain a name for themselves, right? And there wasn't any. I could see that there wasn't going to be any, and I'm very happy to help with the fact that there's going to be something. If for nothing else, for me to wrestle as well, because I'm going to wrestle, you know? So that's pretty cool. Yeah. We talked a while ago. I was telling you earlier, like the deathmatch thing.
Yeah.
So the deathmatch reel on Instagram. That was like the first time we talked, and then it was cool to listen to Mike here. And then when you guys last week were like, you guys have any questions? We're like, yes, I have a question. You guys want to do a giveaway?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. I hope people listening to this are excited as well. And if you don't know, it's at Wrestle Purpose on Twitter, Purpose Wrestling everywhere, Instagram, and website will have all the information. Purpose Wrestling.
Purpose Wrestling. Yeah.
I there's a lot of people really happy by now. The fact that there's a public recording of me saying the word purpose so many times. Because I have this weird accent, right? And, I don't know what this is, and I apologize.
That's all right, man. Come on, man.
What would you say was the main inspiration of wanting to start Purpose Wrestling? I mean, you spoke about having that bridge for up-and-coming wrestlers but I'm sure there's something else that kind of drove you to want to start a wrestling company.
It's
So I think that's. I'm sure we've even had talks about wanting to do our own wrestling shows in the future. So I mean, it's a pipe dream for now, but you're actually doing it. So,
well, I think it was that side definitely that we talk about. I think it's important, but then there's also a little bit of, maybe in a selfish way, like, where am I gonna wrestle when things come back? Because like these were the companies that were giving me my opportunities, right, to then me to be able to develop myself, and they're gone now. So, and if I'm going to do it for myself, that also means that whatever platform I'm going to create, I'm going to be able to create it for other people as well. It's not just for me. There's a few people that you guys are going to see on the show that are going to have that opportunity, are going to get that place to shine like that. And I think it's just the ability, it's knowing that that's there, knowing that I contributed somehow. You know, like I obviously really like pro wrestling. I mean, I left everything behind because of it. And it was, if this is what it's needed right now, and obviously if I have the resources and that mind space to do it, then let's do it. You know, I think it was very much that.
You said about leaving Portugal. Was there any like wrestling scene over there?
Yeah, and it's very, very small though, and it still is. I think definitely throughout the 8 years that I was there, and it hasn't changed much since. You had one promoter that did very big shows, but it wasn't his main focus, right? So, like, I started as a referee. I refereed for years.
Oh, crazy.
For example, I refereed Sami Zayn against a Portuguese guy in Portugal, right? Yeah.
That's nuts.
I refereed one of my favorite matches ever, one of the best matches I've ever seen live. I refereed Rob Van Dam versus Lance Cade.
You're lying.
Right? I've refereed Sheamus. I've refereed Pac, who recognizes me and it still does. It's a really cool thing.
All this happened in Portugal?
Yeah. So basically, it was this one promoter that would do very sporadic spot shows, right? He's like, he was able, because he had he works in music as well, because he had like connections, he's able to like, oh, let's put a show in this venue, let's bring all this advertisement power. But because he had that, he could do that. He could sell that to people.
Yeah.
And there was a huge boom. Like I started watching in 2000, after WrestleMania 21, so we're talking 2005, 2006.
25.
There was a huge boom. Like the first time WWE came in the 21st century, because they did in the 90s, to Portugal, They sell out 12,000 tickets in a day. They add a second date, and they sell out that second date in 2 days.
Crazy.
They sell 24,000 tickets in 3 days. It was a huge craze of wrestling when I was a kid. And because of that, he's able to, for like the decade after, kind of like piggyback off of that, you know, and be able to sell it. But the problem is, on the other side of that coin is that wrestling wasn't his main focus. So he was never able to get the ball rolling, you know, at least at the level that he wanted. So, which is fair. So when you had that, and then you had what is way more similar to, well, maybe something like Purpose and similar companies to that. You have 3 schools, 2 in Lisbon, one of them in the south of Portugal. That are like, they have the academies. They're run by Portuguese guys who maybe have training outside, or maybe it was just like they learn because they got to train with other people. For example, I was trained by someone who went to Lance Storm to do the 3 months training there. Right. Okay. At the time, he thought he wanted to be in WWE and be an Intercontinental Champion. Shout out to Bammer. But when he was out there, he realized that it's not what he wanted. So he came back to Portugal and he was like, well, I'm going to create something here instead, right? As a hobby, not even semi-professional. There isn't that much money there in Portugal. And he was a big part in training me. And so yeah, like you had kind of like that trickle-down thing, people training people. And then these academies will put shows together. And sometimes they're able to like, they've been able to bring me back to be part of their shows, which is always pretty cool. There was another group who was able to bring maybe even bigger people, not that much bigger, you know. It goes me, Pete Dunne, Zack Sabre Jr. Which, you know, it is an investment. They spend more money, got a less of a star. But yeah, like, but you know, it was actually really cool. Like Pete Dunne was part of one of the shows there. Zach was part of one of the shows there. But it's very much just like a one-off thing. And there are fans, but it's not enough to like here. Like maybe you can get 150 people to see the show there, but there's no point in trying to aim for 300 because here in the UK, wrestling is part of the culture.
Yeah.
Right? Like you say wrestling and people will be like, oh, that's cool, I know what that is. Like you can go from, which is like your case and mine as well, of like, oh yeah, I remember like Attitude Era or mid-2000s when we started watching and stuff. And maybe if you go for older people,
Jan Haystacks and all these big other
exactly
on
right.
They used to show on ITV. I forgot the name of it.
World Sports,
yeah,
right? Like it was a big cultural thing here.
Daddy, yeah.
In Portugal, you talk about wrestling, the first thing they go is it's like, what, the fake one?
Yeah. Oh, bro.
which is like it's fair.
Yeah,
but when it's asked here, it's in a way to try and figure out which one it is. And every time I say here, in worlds outside of wrestling, like, oh, I'm a wrestler. People are like, oh, that's really cool. Tell me more about it. They're really excited about that. Every time I say something like that in Portugal, it's very much because it's part of the culture. It's like, oh, it's either the joke of wrestling because it is ridiculous. It's ridiculously ridiculous, right? Or it's the
thought of actually wrestling.
You know, like the thought of what wrestling is, right? Basically, in Portugal, you will have the main culture will be to kind of like ridicule it. Yeah. Can't speak this language.
That's right.
We struggle as well.
Yeah, we struggle as well. Yeah.
So because of that, it's like you don't have the culture on your side. When you go and promote a wrestling show, the reaction of people when they see the poster, when they see the Facebook post, isn't, oh, that's cool. It's probably a fun night out. It's going to be, look at these guys trying to imitate what you do on TV.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And it's really hard to fight that. It's possible, but you need to be really invested and be able to have a big investment in doing it, you know? So I think that's it. Everyone that I've known that actually wanted to pursue wrestling as a profession has left Portugal. Right? I did it. Bammer technically did it as well, even though he gave up on it. Not gave up, but changed his mind and came back. There's obviously Shanna, who wrestled for AEW.
There's one Portuguese.
Killer Kelly.
Yes, Killer Kelly. I follow her. Yeah, she's sick. Yeah.
She did the exact same thing I did. Like a year or two after I.
She went to Germany, didn't she?
I came here. She went to Germany. Yeah.
Was she at IC?
I think she's wrestling at ICW.
ICW, yeah.
She's been around.
You know Killer Kelly? You seen her before?
NXT UK.
I'll show you. She's NXT UK,
She was hired.
I saw her next.
And like I've known her. We trained together. I've known her. She was like 14. Because then in Portugal, because things are so small as well, everyone knows each other, right? I know everyone. Tell me like a name from the past 15 years of wrestling in Portugal, and I know him, even if I just like cross paths with him once or twice or whatever it is. But yeah, like it's basically that. That's how the scene is in Portugal.
Like Portugal's sport, what's Portugal's main sport is football, right? So
It's not even close. Like here, you can even get like not cricket. What's the second? Oh, rugby, right?
Yeah.
Like here, you can get rugby. There's like football is obviously the big one, but you still get.
I think
it's not even
is
close.
it guys? Tell me something. Is it me as England? They go in terms of like English sports. It's like football, boxing. Because when boxing's on and the British champion is fighting, everybody's watching that.
That's a good shout.
Then it's like rugby. Then probably like the odd cricket fan.
Cricket, tennis.
Then you get tennis and after
Snooker.
snooker's a big
Exactly,
sport as well. So it's nuts and tennis
And darts as well.
Darts.
Darts.
Oh, bro, darts is nuts.
Obsession with darts, man.
Darts is actually cool, you know.
I think darts.
That's actually cool.
Dance is lit, bro.
I like darts, right? I play darts.
It's a
you know.
spectacle to watch. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't understand.
I like the entry. I like the entrances are sick as well. When they come and step up, the entrances are sick still. But do you know what it is? It's like the reason why I started because I had to edit like a dart piece basically about this guy that's learning how to do darts. Steve the Man was learning how to do darts, and I had to edit that sequence. And when I was editing it, I was learning how things work and basically like the way these lot feel when they're throwing that dart and all that sort of stuff. So that's how I kind of got gravitated. It's proper gas, man.
I feel like it's one of those things where, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like you have hardcore dart fans. It's just like when the championships are on, whatever it is, people will watch it.
Yeah, people watch
But
it.
it's not like the football, like.
Do people put money on darts?
Darts player.
Yeah.
Gamble team.
Oh yeah, that's another one, isn't it? Like the gamble from the horse races.
Yeah,
Just-
horse races. That one's nuts.
But I just think gambling's a part of British culture.
Gambling.
Like we gamble with any
I've worked in
sport.
the bookies.
Hey,
Trust me.
do you know?
Gambling is the second biggest sport.
Yeah, trust me. Hey, do you know what's mad? Do you know what's mad? Yeah. Do you know they tried to do gambling on WWE at one point in the UK?
Bro, when I used to
I
work
don't know if it
in
still
Coral,
works. Did they still do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for Royal Rumbles and WrestleMania.
Yeah,
That's
WrestleMania,
nuts.
You can bet on WrestleManias, which is
And say what? What's the bet like? Oh, I bet
who
everyone
wins?
wins. That's nuts.
Then you
though.
know what happens? The day of the show,
They change everything.
the odds starts changing because the smart money starts coming in.
Yeah.
It's like people who actually know the results
Yeah.
just getting like £500 on it just to get money because they know what the result's is gonna go. It's crazy.
Betting on wrestling is one of the most asinine things of all time.
That's
Like
dumb.
it doesn't make sense. Like the result is gonna be the result. Like there is no.
Unless if it's a thing where it's like back in the day when footballers used to like obviously they'll get their friend to bet and after they'll just basically like make sure they lose. Say if their friend said, "Oh, do you know what? I bet Arsenal to lose. I bet Arsenal to lose against Chelsea," and you play for Arsenal or whatever, and after you try and make your team lose so that your family can get peas.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If it's something like that, then yeah, I get that's an inside job, innit? But when betting on wrestling in general, like, what are you gonna bet? I bet that Roman Reigns is gonna spare Goldberg at 53 minutes. Like, what the hell? Do you get what I mean? It's like I don't understand the betting thing. Even Royal Rumbles don't make sense.
I feel like that probably makes the most sense.
That makes the most sense
probably
because
makes the
like,
most.
look, who comes out at number
possibilities.
30 is still like cool. Like who comes out at number 30? Who's gonna debut?
yeah,
that?
So are you getting one guess? So for example, say
Now, most people. So when I used to work in the bookies, most people just guess who's going to win the Royal Rumble. That's it. But then a lot of the times people would look online and say, yeah, this person's potentially going to win this and that. But most of the time it's false. They
Because
don't.
the odds are going to reflect that. The odds are not going to care about whoever they push on TV. It's
yeah.
like if there's a rumor that CM Punk is coming back on 2022 Royal Rumble, then he's going to be a big odds favorite.
Odds will be like 30-1, and someone's putting down £10, £20 just to try and get money back. So
what's the obvious bet in wrestling?
obviously betting wrestling.
Charlotte's gonna win.
Undertaker winning that Royal Rumble.
I bet that WWE's gonna do something stupid tonight. I bet that Raw's gonna be dead.
Engines will take more than 5 minutes.
Trust me.
Oh, any Roman, any bet you put on Roman is gonna go clear.
I was doing my research. Yeah.
Alexa Bliss is gonna do something embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Yeah. I was doing something. I was doing research. Yeah. Fam, I was watching Undertaker versus CM Punk. Good match, by the way.
Which one?
WrestleMania. It was a decent
Good
match.
man, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Fam, Undertaker's entrance was so long. Oh my!
6 minutes.
My missus goes,
He's gonna make
she
food
called me
and
upstairs. She
still
goes,
be
look, come on, please, because I had to go feed. We had to give her medicine, innit? And I've come back downstairs, and the entrance is still on. And CM Punk is playing with what's the urn? He's bouncing it up, and I'm like, fam, when is this match gonna start, bro? Undertaker's walking for time.
Was that network time already? Was that WrestleMania on the network?
Yeah, WrestleMania
No,
29.
No,
29.
Network was about.
29.
Nah.
Network wasn't 30.
Oh, Network was about, Network came out 30, yeah. I remember now.
Because when they were doing the network thing, they were extending those fucking papers.
Oh,
Yeah.
7 hours.
Bro.
And they were like, they were
Nuts.
extending those pay-per-view times only so that they could go on the shareholders meeting and be like, hey, people are watching more time. Cool. Are they? It's because you're extending your freaking pay-per-views to 17 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Waking up at 8:30 in the morning to start
Oh,
watching.
no,
WrestleMania.
Pain of being from UK.
I don't know what I think it was the WrestleMania that Seth cashed in, yeah. But I remember that
31.
31.
was there.
That WrestleMania, I remember watching that.
long.
No, the sun was. It
was dark.
The sun was out.
Yeah.
It ended dark.
Yeah.
I said, what? Like,
Pitch black,
no,
bro.
that day was
At the end.
What was that?
I'm
What was that?
I'm
New York?
sure that
Saturday.
Seth Rollins, after his match with Randy Orton, he went to nap for like a good hour or two. Then came back to cash.
Because
He's like, oh shit, let me go
Because
cash this
even
in.
the ramp on that WrestleMania
was long, fam. 100 meters, 100 meters.
That ramp was
Fam.
long.
I swear, I'm so glad they sold to Peacock, because if they haven't, this year's WrestleMania would start dark, get light throughout the show, and then get dark again at the end, you know?
24 hours.
It's gonna happen.
Trust me.
24
No, there are some days like WrestleMania is a day.
Yeah, it's a
WrestleMania
day.
day.
But do you know what it is? I understand the 2 days thing now, man. I think the 2 days thing should be a thing that should continue. I'm sorry. Do you know what it is? The reason why is because obviously it's like competition for 1 day. So the first day was sick. Then the second day was like, do you get what I mean? But if they keep doing that, or even just
Second, it will always be.
This is
better.
gonna
or
sound.
just some of the bin some of the
This is
matches.
gonna
I don't know
sound
about
harsh.
that
one.
one.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about
This is
that
gonna sound
one.
harsh here, but you see
32 was the
WrestleMania.
one that showed.
Like, I understand they tried to cram as much people on WrestleMania, but I'm sorry.
Not everyone needs to win WrestleMania.
You're not rolling. Like, WrestleMania
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
thing where not everyone can roll.
It's something guys like, yo, bro,
You're not
chill.
You're not,
See you? Chill. I need Roman
You're not
Reigns.
at the distance for WrestleMania. I'm saying you're not rolling. Like WrestleMania is like, for me, should reward that the people who have been on bits the entire year.
Yeah.
Like, if you've been working hard the entire year, WrestleMania's for you. That it keeps it exclusive.
I think you're right.
What about the 2
I
days?
think you're right, and I think the exact same thing about the Tokyo Dome shows, the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I'm like, it feels on paper like an insane idea, 2 days, and like, oh, it's such a hassle, like we're gonna have to watch 2 shows and stuff. But between one show that's 7.5, 8 hours, or 2 shows that are 4 hours, even if they're like 4.5.
I'll take the 2.
It's so much like
Look
as
at
a
the 2
fan,
days.
It's easier to
personally-
digest.
Yeah,
Personally, as a fan,
it was very, and it was very
so much
exciting to see.
easier.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So much easier.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
like in 2021, people like, it's not TV. It's not like people are gonna go. Like people watch.
Well,
when
go and
they
use this one,
want.
bro.
You know, it's like OTT. People just watch when they want. If by any chance it takes them 4 days to watch the entire WrestleMania instead of taking the 2 that they're supposed to do, then screw it.
And that's one thing watching it, but when you're actually there, it's long. Especially if it's sunny, the heat is beating off your headpiece, and then you're just there for the whole time. You're hungry. You can't. You want to go to the toilet. You miss a match. You got to firm it for hours. That's the one thing people don't say about WrestleMania,
There was like
bro.
4 or 5 years where people were complaining about how the main event was dead because of that. Because
Because they were exhausted. Yeah.
Fucking Ronda Rousey in the main event of WrestleMania, Becky Lynch winning the championship, and no one cared.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Only because they were exhausted. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Or they should, like we said, not everyone needs to roll to WrestleMania, man. But I do think that WrestleMania should do. I feel that WWE need to make things exciting. So, an idea that I had for WWE is that I feel like at the beginning of every single WrestleMania, obviously you have the Royal Rumble, yeah. The Royal Rumble is basically like cool. The winner from that Royal Rumble goes out and picks the champion he wants to fight. But what they should do on WWE on WrestleMania, they should have a little battle royale. Like obviously, you see this Andre the Giant thing. forget Andre the Giant. Forget that. Forget Andre the Giant. Yeah. Whoever wins that match, will basically face the person that hasn't been picked, the other champion.
Sounds like an AEW thing.
I think that can work. I think at the end of the tournament.
The problem with that is that you can't promote the match.
Yeah.
I mean, but say okay, you can promote in a way like it's cool.
Put my promoter hat.
Trust me. Trust me.
I need to tell people who Edge is opposed
Trust me,
to.
yeah.
I can't wait.
Okay,
for
what?
the day.
Okay, what was it? Say from the battle royal, you had Edge, you had Edge, Seth. Basically, you've had people that's already been in storylines together, like people that's already in the rankings. Put them all in that match, and these lot are basically battling for the thing. Do you get what I mean? And whoever wins that match, at the end of it, they go, "Cool, your fight." Like I think did Daniel Bryan do it? Did Daniel Bryan do something like that?
No, he had a match against Triple H, and then he had
But
a Triple
the
H.
Triple H, because he won that
Yeah,
title
he beat Triple H
for the title.
he beat Triple H to get
Clean.
into the. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Something like
That's
that.
basically
Yeah,
what
same
he
for
did.
yeah.
Like, he hadn't.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of knew he was going to win.
Yeah.
It was like,
And also, it was already Batista versus Randy Orton, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that match was already advertised.
Yeah.
And you still want to advertise your title.
Nobody wants to see it.
For me, for WrestleMania, I've always had an idea to make Survivor Series relevant again. What you do is that for me, like when you do the brand, when you do the brand wars, make it okay. Whatever brand wins the overall Survivor Series night, that brand main events WrestleMania. So it gives them each brand a reason to like
To win.
to fight because like cool. If we lose,
is it not enough to fight for bragging rights?
no. You know what I'm saying? So
Surprise.
Raw versus SmackDown, whoever wins that main championship, main event WrestleMania, and he keeps things exciting each year.
Even if they don't want to do that 6 months in advance, the winning team of Survivor Series gets 5 of the last 10 spots in the Rumble.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You win, you're guaranteed between 21 and 30.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lie, personally, if I was on a Survivor Series team and my team won, but they now say to me, Derek, you're on the pre-show, I'm not going to lie. I'm sabotaging that main event. Because there's no way that I've helped you win Survivor Series, but I'm not in the main event.
But now,
Both of you are dying. Well, we're all going to have a sword fight there. I'm so sorry.
But now you can text every single person on Raw, say, hey, me and my boys from SmackDown beached you.
Yeah, and that creates
that's bigger than any WrestleMania. Who cares about a championship?
and that creates good storylines as well. Because imagine somebody imagine SmackDown our head, like they've pretty much got this in the bag, and then another SmackDown superstar sabotages the main event. It'll be sick.
Only to change to Raw because he had a contract already.
Having your promoter hat on again, yeah. Do you feel like, for example, like these Royal Rumble? Do you feel like Royal Rumble can be done, like the whole build up to Royal Rumble can be done in a year, like a yearly build, like a year build?
Yes.
For example, say at the beginning of the year, if it's a brand new year, they're teasing a Royal Rumble, like making it the thing to watch out.
As in next year's Royal Rumble.
As in the next year's Royal Rumble. Say the new year.
So Royal Rumble's just done, and then after that Royal Rumble, they're now teasing for the next year.
The next year, but as in teasing amongst the superstars, like, yo, this one is the one you have to win, and they're having like 2 people like are battling out, and throughout the whole year, everyone's getting their own spots into the Royal Rumble. You think that could work?
Just a build, a yearly.
A yearly build, yeah. So you win these matches, and whether you win, like it puts you up in the.
I think maybe it will be too much because maybe once you do get to Royal Rumble, it gets like it's just beaten. Whatever the expression is, can't speak this language. Not certified.
Is it like?
But it's just like people get tired of listening to it after a year. But I do think it's possible to like gently and slowly do something like that. And I think the build to the first Cena Rock match proved that.
Oh, from the year after,
It's like they agreed with the match the year before. And it's like the stories that in the first half of the year, like the stories that happened, they didn't directly relate to that match, but there was references to it, right? And then there was like the 3 months after that was like when Cena was doing the feud with Kane and freaking never forget this. Roddy Piper slaps him in the face and says, "Embrace the hate if you want to defeat The Rock," right? So like now it's kinda about the match, but it's still not directly about it. And then the last 3 months, here comes the Punk thing and The Rock actually coming back for Royal Rumble and stuff. And now you're actually directly promoting that match. And I think you can do something like that. I think you can either. If after maybe not after Royal Rumble because you're in the WrestleMania cycle, but if after WrestleMania, whoever was like a big star that came, I don't want to say Goldberg because I know you guys.
Listen.
Let's say that Edge actually returned in a WrestleMania match, wins that match, and on the Raw next year, the next day goes, I want to win my match at WrestleMania, so I'm gonna go and win Royal Rumble in 9 months, and
that's sick.
And then it's like you just mentioned, right? It's a thing that he said, and other people can talk about it. Or I forgot.
You could even do the opposite of someone that's been scorned from the WrestleMania. I mean, from the Royal Rumble, they've had like a terrible run towards WrestleMania, and then from WrestleMania, they say to themselves, "You know what? I need to get that one up from the Royal Rumble that I've just failed in. I need to win Royal Rumble," and they become obsessed with it. And maybe some start.
Keith Lee.
Number one, they have something to
Keith Lee.
chip on their shoulder.
I feel like definitely like just establish like front runners. Like in terms of like people, like what you said, people establishing that Royal Rumble, that's going to be my time, that's going to be my time. Maybe like establishing these 4 different guys that are all saying for Royal Rumble. So when you get to Royal Rumble, like it's a conversation of, okay, out of these 4 guys, who's going to win? But you can also sneak in a dark horse in as well.
And you need to find the balance because if you have Money in the Bank, you're promoting 2 months.
Yeah.
But in your character's mind, your mind is on Royal Rumble, then if Money in the Bank isn't important to you, then it's not going to be important for us.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a certain balanced strike there.
And I think it's dependent on the wrestler as well, because you wouldn't want your top guy to be the person that's not considering the Money in Bank important, because that's still a way to get a WWE title. Yeah. If it's like someone that's like in the mid card, like someone, let's say for example like Apollo or someone like Sami Zayn, where they've been scored in the Royal Rumble and they can now say, you know what, I'm forgetting everything else. I've just got this tunnel vision for Royal Rumble. There's a sick way you can potentially book it.
Or a part-timer. Imagine Brock Lesnar, the SmackDown after SummerSlam, all right? Just coming out and being like, hey, I'm busy now, but I'm coming back for a Royal Rumble, I'm winning the Rumble, and I'm coming after you, Roman.
Yeah.
You know? Something
That's
like that.
it, yeah.
And people have done stuff
But
like
he'll be away, you know?
Yeah.
And people have done stuff like that. I remember when Shawn was going after the Undertaker again for the second match, and he was like, I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble and I'm gonna use it to fight Taker again. So different people can have different motivations to win the Rumble. So yeah,
I think that's the best sort of like storytelling. To be honest, in my opinion, man. Long storytelling. Yeah.
Let me not lie. It sounds good, but I can't see them doing that every single year.
No,
I mean, as in like, but do you know, it's
I
mad
can't
that.
see them doing that every single week.
But you know, it's mad. They can do it every year, but if it's done subliminally,
think
where
they do every year,
not every
because-
year, but if it's done subliminally, where you're not clocking it. Do you get what I mean?
I mean, they make it.
No, it's literally the same story.
But
you
you know,
can't have Sami Zayn do that run. Then the next year you have Apollo. Then next year you've got Drew Gulak.
Okay.
Then you've got Mansoor.
Okay,
then
but
you've got Hornswoggle.
what if it's done on different pay-per-views? For example, say if it's like cool, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, or this new pay-per-view they got in New Year's. I don't know what New Year's gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna be. I think probably be like another version of Night of the Champions. I don't know. Is Night of the Champions still there?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. They
Yeah.
changed.
They don't even know.
They don't even know. They don't even know.
I think one thing that we've talked about that could help that is instead of getting the wrestlers to do something like that, as we kind of talked about before, if there was a connection between the pay-per-views, like Survivor Series has implications on Rumble. Rumble obviously has implications on
WrestleMania.
Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. Then you reset and Money in the Bank has implications on SummerSlam. And then there's like these two cycles. Then I think you would kind of achieve, because there's always that further goal ahead.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need to have my my team win Survivor Series so that I can go and have a good spot at Royal Rumble, so then I can face the guy that I was a survivor with at Survivor Series, and we're the last two in the Rumble, you know, and then just like a story that develops from there. But I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah, I don't have any faith in WWE to do that anyway. To be honest, I'm just dreaming, and I can't lie. WWE 2K20 is flipping broken.
You only finding out?
No. It's even worse on PS5.
What's happened?
It's worse on PS5.
I don't know why you bothered playing that game anyway.
Look, let me tell you. Sorry, this is off topic, but listen,
game has been broken.
I've made AEW roster, yeah, amazing roster, a brilliant cause, like Hangman Page on there, Darby Allin, Miro, amazing, proper sick. Well, tomorrow we've got to Revolution, yeah. I've booked it for 10 matches, a nice rivalry's there. We get to Revolution now. Why is there 2 matches? And guess who's in the matches?
I don't know, Britt Baker.
John Cena versus flipping Andrade. John Cena's not even on my roster. John Cena is not even on my roster. He's not even there. And what even bugs as well, yeah? Bro, he's got the AEW Championship. How? And do you know what's mad? Do you know how I clocked it? I clocked the reason why I clocked. Like, I think I made a mistake. So basically, I made him AEW champion as well as Kenny Omega AEW champion. So he, by accident, I don't even know why. So AEW, there's 2 champions in AEW right now, fam. And I'm so basically, I think I've clicked on John Cena, yeah, and I've come back out of it. And I've just left it like that. So then I've gone to Kenny Omega and I've made him champion as well, not knowing that he's there. So basically, I had a roster before and I've just swapped the whole roster around.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, fam.
Do you remember that story? I think it was like WWE 09. I don't remember, but it was like the one that had Punk on the cover.
13. This one, 13. Yeah.
Like. The game company had to fight WWE because WWE was pushing Sheamus on it.
Swear.
You didn't know that? So like literally, there was a story that came out. I think maybe Punk told it once he left or something. Like
That's synergies, isn't it?
the company wanted Punk to be on the cover, and WWE was literally saying, no, you want Sheamus.
That's
Sheamus.
silly,
You
man.
want Sheamus, right?
That's one of the best wrestling games.
They had to fight it back and forth, and eventually, like, the game company won because obviously the Punk on the cover is going to sell more. I felt like that's what happened with you. You know, you were like, "Hey, Kenny Omega is a champion on WWE."
Nah,
And
fam.
Vince McMahon in his office found that out and said, "No, you want Cena."
You want Cena? Fam, I was spinning yesterday, fam. I was like,
Was the match good though?
Huh?
Was the match
I
good?
skipped it. I was pissed off. I skipped it, and what even burns? I done another year, and it was still 2 matches. and it was then Andrade versus CM Punk. And the next match was Kenny Omega versus Buddy Murphy, which I can't lie, I played that match. That match was sick. It was the last man standing match, innit? I can't lie, I made Kenny Omega lose, innit? Bare knees, bro. Bare knees, fam. I made Kenny Omega lose still, but yeah, it's annoying, fam. Have you been like have you been like clued up on what's happening? Like obviously last week we've had many releases in WWE.
Yes.
There's even rumors that NXT is basically on its way out.
Yeah.
Not on its way out, but on its way in to get out.
I'm
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, NK's got a lot to say. NK, do you lead the discussion, please?
Fucking hell, man, they're finished.
Finish.
That's it. That's all you have to say. Thanks for listening.
Like, let me even start on the NXT thing. NXT, I understand in terms of like what they're doing, in terms of like ushering new talent, bringing it back to developmental. I understand that to a degree because NXT has basically become WWE PWG light. That's basically what it's become. It's become an indie an indie experiment that Triple H and Shawn Michaels are putting into. And in terms of like this conversion rate from successful NXT talents to main roster talents, there is no, like, nobody on NXT, especially amongst the men, has gone to the main roster and made that big break. So I understand them scaling things back and saying, you know what, we're going to start from afresh. However, NXT, in terms of the last decade,
Picture time.
NXT was the most, like, in terms of a brand, if you want to look at it as a brand, it was the most consistent brand in terms of quality and probably the highest rated brand in WWE. Like, people loved what NXT was doing, and NXT was kind of that haven for people to go, people who are disillusioned with the main roster. People would go to NXT and be like, yo, like, I like what's going down here. Like, you have moments like the whole women's revolution, that is an NXT thing. The whole, you know, debut of Shinsuke Nakamura, you know, there were so many moments. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, you had so many, like, era-defining moments to happen in NXT. And just to see that brand go away and change into something else, logistically, I understand it, but it's a massive loss, man. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see because, honestly, like, if you weren't there for NXT's boom period, go back and experience it because it's some of the best wrestling you will see all decade. So yeah, man.
Sami Zayn versus Neville.
Oh, yeah. Incredible!
It's one of my favorite matches ever. It's insanely good. Oh, that feud is incredible. Yeah. Honestly, well, what was the purpose of NXT? Right, in the beginning was developmental, right?
Yeah. Game show, innit? It was a game. Let's go back. Let's even go further back. It was a game show that they got a lot of indie wrestlers to be on.
Not even indie wrestlers, they got FCW wrestlers.
FCW
they were
wrestlers.
doing like just trying something new, and obviously it didn't work.
They wanted to replace ECW, which I mean,
that was I remember hearing that.
It's like the beginning, what they were doing with their development stuff and everything, right? With Seth Rollins as a champ, and then like because when Bray started, that was the purpose. But then the indies started having a boom period. Mm-hmm. And the period you were talking about, like them really, really strong, is you're talking about the alternative, right? Where
yes.
People were disappointed with the main roster.
So they go to NXT as an alternative.
Before people were going to Ring of Honor for an alternative.
Yeah.
And the way NXT was positioned that way was like business-wise, they wanted to kill
Ring of Honor.
And the indie boom that was happening there.
Wasn't that one point Triple H and Gabe in cahoots with each other? Like they would
Gabe's
Spokowski.
Gabe Sapolsky.
He's
always been working together with Evolve.
Yeah, because he did leave Ring of Honor to do the.
Oh, it was a former Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah.
But like there was a big time gap there.
Yeah.
He was like he started Evolve eventually.
Yeah.
Exactly with that. But they've always worked together. But like it's been the MO of the company, right? They're very they want to make sure they kill competition and the spirit of the NXT was changed because of that, because they wanted to be the alternative so people wouldn't actually look for the alternative on the outside, to the point where people were like, oh, this is different, like, well, it still has the same logo at the end, right? But like business is business, and it was great, right? I loved it the same way like obviously you guys did, and they won that war mainly because they stole all the talent, and then the one that they did and AEW ended up taking. But then they tried to go for the war with AEW, and we may, in hindsight, say that we knew this was going to happen, that AEW was going to win. But I remember no one believed
one
that
actually-
AEW.
nobody
I
actually
didn't
believed
Listen,
believe
I
that on the
think I
hours
said-
of night.
Listen, I think I said.
I always knew AEW would do well, but I thought in terms of like WWE,
It's going to be balanced, right?
It's going to be
I
balanced.
can't lie. Do you know what I said? I think I said in one podcast. I don't know if I'm rechasing my words, but I'm sure I've said this shit that AEW is not only competing with NXT. That's a stupid thing, fam. AEW is competing with the whole WWE. And if you're not seeing that now, you'll see it in a couple months' time.
Yeah.
There are gonna be people coming to WWE and be like, raw. And people WWE's viewership is gonna go down. It's even gonna go lower than what it is now. Do you get what I mean? Even for example, Monday, when I know that for a fact they're gonna go back to Monday, they're gonna get like a Monday show. Forget this Dark Elevation stuff. Like it's not it's good, but it's not really doing anything for us AEW fans, innit? Let's be honest. Is it doing anything for you guys?
I
I
watched
mean,
that.
for AEW fans, it's doing well.
For me, I don't really watch it. Do you know what I mean? So one day they'll probably say, "Oh, do you know what? Bun it. We're gonna compete with Raw now because they're gonna compete with SmackDown soon."
At some point, they're going to get rid of Dark.
And I can't wait.
But
I want to see Vince McMahon shaking in his boots.
From me,
And it's the thing is like, sorry, just to finish it.
Let's go for it.
They lost the war. Vince doesn't like losing.
Doesn't.
You know, that's been his MO, and because he lost the war, we lost the cool NXT we used to, you know. And I think there was another thing as well. Not sure if you guys felt this, which is like a cool thing about NXT is that NXT didn't try to be NXT.
They didn't.
They were just doing their thing, and because of AEW, they started trying to be. Almost, it became almost a parody of themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point I was gonna make, because the whole thing about NXT was that it was a short hour show, just straight wrestling, a bit of
it was an
promos,
hour. I forgot
the
about that.
pay-per-views, 5 matches. It was just short, succinct, cool. So when they tried to extend it to make it 2 hours, they was stretching beyond. It took away the vibe. That's why I stopped watching it, because it felt like, as you said, trying to beat NXT when it always was NXT. It was just like. That's why you saw the videos of like when they're watching AEW, what's going on as they're doing their show, because they were too focused. Like they didn't stay focused on what made
It's a
them cannot do well.
misinterpretation as well of like what wrestling is. Like from a worker's perspective, from a wrestler's perspective, they started wrestling in a way that wasn't the way that brought them to success, but it's a way that people that don't know better would tell them to wrestle because that's what this audience wants.
Exactly.
And that came to bite them in the ass. You know?
I was gonna ask a question. Yeah. I don't know if there's something that NXT used to do before, but I've recently started to see it. These dramatic cutscenes and stuff that they're doing now. For example, Johnny Gargano. There was a scene with Johnny Gargano and what's Johnny Gargano's missus name again?
Candice
LeRae. They basically Dex Loomis came to us to come and pick up Indy Hartwell, innit?
Yeah.
To go on a date, and after they were just sitting down and doing some weird stuff. NXT never see that back in the day, did they?
No, NXT was a very minimalist show.
Because I remember me watching it. Because I remember you was like, if you don't like the main roster, well, I think it was both of you in the first episode. Like, go watch NXT because NXT is just straight wrestling and there's no talking, straight bang. Do you know what I mean? And that's the reason why I kind of like watched it. I like that stuff because it's like, you know, you don't watch Raw because Raw is just like that time. That's the time when Bobby Lashley's sisters and that were there. Do you remember that? And flipping Leo Rush.
Yeah.
So that was like a good alternative for me. Then the news of AEW coming in was the icing on the cake. So.
And AEW is the same thing as well. Like obviously they've done a few things, but
Well, it hasn't been.
They always build the show around the matches and the interviews, and you never see a thing where a camera is randomly backstage catching people that don't know they're being recorded. You know, it's always like there's an interview there. Like when they were the 2 weeks ago when they did the segment with Adam Page and the Dark Order, it was an interview. It wasn't the camera just randomly backstage and then he comes, right? It was like an interview that turned into them having the conversation that they did, and they always try to at least present it that way. And as a fan, personally, I prefer that.
Yeah. When do you think like the true transition from NXT being solely developmental and then changing, like what period would you say it changed into like a miniature WWE indie promotion? Because I remember the time where like it was in the middle because you had guys. I think this is when they just introduced Samoa Joe. They just introduced Samoa Joe, but you still had guys like Baron Corbin. You still had guys like Bull Dempsey. You still had guys like Alex Riley. You know, developmental people. But then I don't know when that transition.
Alex Riley was gone by that point. He was in the main roster.
He was in the main roster by that point.
Who?
Okay.
Alex Riley.
Alex
Riley.
Riley. Yeah, but yeah. But there were guys like Baron Corbin, Bull Dempsey, just couple. When do you think they fully changed into, you know, WWE indie life?
I think when Cesaro went there. When Cesaro had that match.
Oh, it's Sami Zayn. Oh, that match.
After that, you know, I think that match was an indie type match, but in terms of it like being like full on indie, where it was like Indie after indie after
Oh, full on indie.
I'd say after Finn Balor.
After Balor's reign.
When Balor and Kenta first came, that's when I started to see.
Oh, is that 2016?
Yeah.
2016.
Kevin Owens got when
When there was the 5 of them in the
Balor
picture.
came like 2015.
But that 2016 time, that was when like
2016.
that's when it became. Cause I remember that's the first time NXT featured on a wrestling game.
Because they started signing people like Sami Callihan.
Sami Callihan, yeah. With at the time, what was he like a hacker?
Let me not lie. It was brewing for a long time, but I'll say when Nakamura officially came in, that's when it became official. Yeah,
That was at 2016.
That event, yeah. What was the main event of that show?
Balor, what? No, when Balor versus
Samoa Joe.
Balor Joe.
That
was NXT Takeover Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. Yeah.
That's when Sammy, because
NK's favorite.
they start
One of
bringing,
my favorite takeovers. Yeah.
they start bringing that Nakamura Sammy match is incredible.
Incredible.
They start bringing indie guys specifically from Ring of Honor with Sami Zayn's title reign. Like that's when Kevin Owens debuts, and then they start bringing a few more, and eventually like Gargano kind of comes in the picture, and then obviously it's like Samoa Joe, Balor from NXT. That's what from New Japan. That's when they start really investing on that. But as you were saying, underneath there were still a few people they were trying to develop.
Yeah.
The thing that killed them though was them going. One, yeah, it's like it's
2 hours.
it stops being like, but it's not even because of the length of the show. Obviously that affects it, but it's the attitude, because it stops being let's do these cool things for our fans to let's kill this company.
Yeah,
They stretch the
and
content.
everything is reacting as opposed to trying to do the best.
Main events like ladder matches and stuff, and all these stipulations like every single week, and it was just like just tone it down.
We started to introduce wrestlers that nobody had even
seen before. Yeah.
It was just like
Like
I
even
didn't expect me to care for this wrestler
if
when
you
all
know-
they've been doing is house shows around Florida. It doesn't make sense.
and even though the Survivor Series period, yeah, like in terms of like
That one
NXT
there.
even though like in terms of like seeing NXT invade the main roster was lit and type of stuff. In terms of it betrayed like the ethos of what NXT was, because like because we never really saw that like NXT was all shit its own distinct thing. So like when you see a bunch of main roster guys coming down, even though it was a good angle, we know why they're there. Ratings. We know why they're there. We know why Drew's on NXT.
The kind of people that will see NXT will understand the reason why that's happening because of ratings.
Yes.
They'll feel like they're being... It's hard to be invested in it when you know this isn't being done so that you have a good show. This is being done so that we can kill the other show.
Because if AEW didn't exist, we would have never seen a Survivor Series angle.
Yeah,
maybe not to the extent of
in
Survivor.
hindsight, it hasn't really done much for the wrestlers. Anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't say to the extent of Survivor Series, but if you remember when Kevin Owens came and faced John Cena, that's
was
the only thing I keep in my mind. They
sick,
did do that every now and then, but like not to the extent of
Do you feel like-
taking over the entire roster.
But that was
I
when
agree.
people would go up, though. We never really saw people go... I don't want to say down, because NXT's better than main wrestler, but when people go to NXT, you know what I'm saying? We never really saw that...
When they did, it was more so for them to have their period of just not development, but for them to take time from the main roster.
Yeah.
We saw people like Cesaro,
Yeah.
Tyson Kidd, Justin Gable that came down just for the sheer fact of
John Cena
they just
came
want more
down with them,
TV time. They just want to be able to have good matches. So.
Oh, like that. Oh,
Kevin
like that.
Owens
Oh, yeah.
thing was at the same time, around the same time as the women coming up to the roster
Yes.
as well. It really felt like it was like, okay, these people we've been developing, and that's your early adopters, your hardcore audience is invested in. They're now in this big platform. And if you keep this momentum gradually, you're going to get everyone invested in this because your early adopters are invested in this.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
They didn't. They fumbled the ball. And
It was like I get that Finn Balor was injured. I get like the moment they actually gave him the ball after they gave the ball to they gave it to Kevin Owens afterwards, but it was like he was gonna carry that momentum, but then he gets injured at SummerSlam. That's it.
Killed it.
That's it. Like that the thing of people from NXT are gonna be the future was dead because there was no one be the future there.
100%.
And it's like I think it's like people like to defend Balor on people like say, but he got injured. But it's like big up Roman, what he's doing right now. But that Roman experiment lasted half a decade. Roman lasted that experiment lasted half a decade, and now we're seeing the fruits of that their hard work. But Finn Balor, guys like Finn Balor, one chance, injury, okay, you're done. We're never pushing you again. And it's like that's like a lot of these guys in NXT. What is it? Only one chance and they're done. It's like you spend all this time branding NXT as the future, and then when the future comes, what do you do with it?
I just think this again goes back to Vince, that mentality of like, because he didn't make that star He's like, well, you say you're good, have a chance. Doesn't work. Oh well, you're not
Or
as
the
good as
big
my
crowd.
guys.
And he builds one guy.
One
He always
guy.
builds only one guy and builds everything around him. Yeah.
Or the big man mentality.
It's coming back.
It's come back.
Big
Can
man.
I ask you a question?
I'm not mad at it.
When's the last time? Yeah, we've actually had that's gonna sound so much like a short champion, because from memory that I'm thinking now is Chris Benoit.
What short?
Short.
Brian.
As in like
Brian,
Brian, yeah, CM Punk,
They
yeah.
had to be dragged to give Daniel Bryan, and as soon as
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did,
sorry, I forgot about that.
as soon as they did, they gave him a feud with Kane. You know, we need some giant in this feud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love a David and Goliath sort of storyline, isn't it?
Especially when
David and
Goliath
Goliath.
wins.
Goliath.
Yeah. In the real world.
Yeah, trust me.
So how do you feel about the people that's been released? Like, was anyone that shocked you?
Bronson Reed did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
one
think
shocks me.
He was on his way up.
Obviously,
He was just
okay.
North
Bray
American
Wyatt
champion.
Leo Ruff as well, man.
Another North.
I'll tell you why that shocked me. I'll tell you why. No, you lot are peak.
I like Leo.
I'll tell you why it shocked me. Yeah, I think it shocked me because it's like, bro, these men have been former champions, fam. And I thought he had more programming in him.
Okay, Braun Strowman was a former Universal Champion.
But it's mad. That's what I'm trying to say. No one is safe. And people said, Lars will never go. Oh, John Cena. Bro, they will sack John Cena tomorrow if they wanted to. Remember one thing?
Not Cena.
No, bro. I can't lie to you. If they wanted to sack John Cena today and make John Cena like a bum, yeah, they'll do it. Bro, John Cena's giving the man so much power, fam. You sent me that video, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's
Come on, man. If they want to sack John Cena today, they'll sack John Cena. Let's be honest.
Cena will be good.
It'll be good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But no one's safe, basically. That's what I'm trying to get at.
You see the way these lot are moving, they're accidentally gonna sack one of their current champions, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, he's the champion."
It happened with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe got sacked, yeah, and Triple H clocked. He got sacked, and he was like, "What's going on here? Sign him back, bring him back in."
Yeah. Obviously everything we're saying here is not a reflection on the wrestlers because
No, it's
this
not.
is all decisions that are not made of them, and it's I trying to be as political as possible, as nice as possible. Like, it's very unfair on them. There's a lot of things about this is very fair on them. So like obviously Bray Wyatt to the side because apparently there's more. I feel like there's more to the story with Bray Wyatt.
Apparently,
than, there's like health issues. And
apparently that's all myth, you know.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently it's all myth. Apparently, like, okay, apparently he's there for budget cuts, and he's got something in store for us. We don't know what it is. He dropped a picture recently, and it was, what's the title on Things Back? Alistair Black's back.
I'm looking at men's backs.
Oh no, chill, man. Okay, do you know that tattoo that he wasn't allowed?
Like I don't know, like a demon or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently someone put a picture together of the one side of the face he put up on Twitter, and the other side, and apparently it was a tattoo. Alistair Black's back, so.
Yeah, like that one to the side, Bronson Reed.
Yeah, Bronson. Yeah, that one's
It's
shocking.
very surprising because he feels the kind of guy that Vince would want to feed.
He was on the main roster doing dark shows.
Yeah, like
and plans for him to go to like the actual.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, it's like the mentality obviously changed, which normally does very regularly, and they did with everyone else. It's like, does it suck? Yes. Is it surprising? No. Really. It's still WWE. You know, you're still gonna look at Mercedes Martinez and Bobby Fish and be like, they're too old, as opposed to learning your lesson with the 20 people that you said were too old and ended up making money for other people, or at least helping other people with development and stuff, you know.
But Mercedes Martinez is even sad as well because like she got injured by Xia Li. Is it Xia Li?
Yeah, she got injured.
Her jaw got finished. Was it her jaw? She got spun.
She
got
got
concussed. Yeah, so I would have thought, cool, she would have come back and got her vengeance against Xia Li. But
I mean, I'm sure that was probably the
fam.
You're doing one thing that doesn't happen a lot in WWE.
Why?
which
What's
is
the
long-term
plan?
What's okay? What I would understand?
Bobby Fish just came back like 2 weeks
That's
ago.
what I'm trying to say.
Tyler was in a faction.
Tyler Russell
And they
was
got
on
kicked
TV
out.
last week.
Fam, where's the disconnected WWE? Okay,
A lot of the wrestlers that got released were wrestling on 205 Live that Friday, the day they got released.
I know, I saw that.
I
saw that, yeah.
That he put on Twitter.
Yeah.
I forget his indie name. Ari Sterling.
Yeah.
Dude is like,
Fam, that one pissed me off because, bro, we was meant to get him on a podcast, and after WWE signed him.
Then WWE signed him. So
Coming back now.
Slide him under the now.
Bro, get him here. Alex Zane, I'm coming for you.
Send him this video. Right, Alex, look at me in the eyes.
I'm coming for you.
These boys want you.
Yeah.
And if you
yo.
listen, I know people. I know
Hey, I want him.
I will screw you up in this country. You hear me? I will ruin your career.
Let's go.
But
Get him some contacts, please.
But what you gotta understand, from reports here, like NXT and you see Triple H's vision of NXT, and the main roster, they've got pretty much nothing to do with each other. In terms of course, they're under the same umbrella, under the same company and stuff like that. But Triple H had no say in who got cut.
That's the
he has no say.
Bro, that's the problem, and that's what I'm saying. Say, where's the disconnect? Why isn't whoever's looking at these books deleting? I'm gonna call it deleting these wrestlers off their roster. Why is he not speaking to my man to speak to my man to say, yo, do you think this is alright? Because bro, imagine. Okay, imagine football. Yeah, imagine football. Imagine Arsenal. Yeah, one day. They're like, cool. Lacazette hasn't started in 3 games. He's just come out from injury. I don't think we need him no more. Release. Aubameyang's not scored in 5 goals. We're gonna release him. What? How does that look?
No, it looks mad, yeah. But this is the way you gotta think about it. Yeah, it's gonna sound mad. This is what you gotta think about. There's Arsenal and cool. Main rosters like Arsenal men's, NXT's like Arsenal women's.
Yeah.
In terms of like, cool. No, in terms of like,
I get No, but I get what you're trying to say. Arsenal is called as well, but I know.
There's 2 separate organizations. They both share the name Arsenal, but they're pretty much different things.
Yeah.
So the way because like I said, Triple H basically ran NXT like his own playground. Vince would cut. Those rumors that Vince would barely even come down to see what was going on. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Vince is just seeing name on the paper, wages gone. He's not. He doesn't. He's not seeing what this guy has.
Like what happened? What happened is that like his financial department, Nick Khan, was like, listen, we need to cut here in these numbers, and he went, cool. This war wasn't won. You're not working anymore. Give me that toy. I'm gonna see what's wrong with it. I'm gonna fix it. That's basically what happened. Like you were using the example of the men and women's team. Yeah. It's like the coach of the men's team.
Yeah, exactly.
Went to the women's team and be like he was told, okay, you're fucking up.
Done.
Give me that. Yeah. Let me sort that out. And just did whatever is on his mind without any consideration to whatever was happening before.
That's the problem. So that's the problem. There needs to be. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a decision made in this group, for example, say if I said, "Oh, cool, we're gonna change the setup of the camera, blah blah," I'm gonna have to inform you guys because you guys are part of it. Do you know what I mean? Same way these wrestlers are part of the show every single day.
This is Vince.
If I wake up one day and we're wrestling, I know it's Vince, but come on. But there needs to be that sort of like.
Bro, think of it this way.
I feel like I'm talking to the wall. I'm like, yo, wall. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
At the end of the day,
Fam.
when it comes to Vince, Vince doesn't know. I feel like Vince doesn't know who these dons are. From when he has to take a trip to see what's going on in NXT, he doesn't know these people. And same way Nick Khan is brought in for one job to cut peas. So he's probably just sitting with Nick Khan himself, going, saving some money, and he saves some money, and that's that. And the same way, like you're saying, David, as well, they lost the war, so he's already pissed. He's like, so these guys who lost a war are costing me money. Ain't get rid of these dons.
Hey, wait, does Nick
Half
Khan
of these
even
man
watch wrestling?
half of these man haven't even debuted on TV yet.
Hey, but does Nick Khan even watch wrestling? Is he?
No, but I'll tell you what, that's another thing.
If you don't know what Vince thinks about NXT, look at Karrion Kross.
Yes.
That's it.
The thing is, like, Vince has there's one shift in mentality that hasn't happened. It's a big generational thing, and that is a big deal of what's happening here. Vince is used to. There was on Twitter. They came out like concept art for some characters in '95. Like
Diesel, Mankind, Undertaker, yeah.
So Vince is from the time, and he still thinks this way. And you can see what he does with people in the main roster, where a wrestler is someone I give a character to. You come here to play a character that's in my mind, and I just need what I need from you is to look at you and see if your look is marketable. I don't care about your wrestling ability, doesn't really matter, because you need to be marketable, you need to be coachable. You need to be someone that I can put on a picture and that I can give a character to and you can play it. Where the actual ethos of what is happening everywhere in wrestling right now is that wrestlers develop their own characters. You know, like you go through this period in training and then in the indies and everything to find what works for you, and it's kind of what was happening with NXT as well in a way. Obviously there's always input from in the case of NXT like agents and people that you're working with, but the majority of the times you come up with your own character. It's like, you want to be the evil villain with no music and beard, like, sure, Ciampa, do it, right? You want to be the representation of the geeks and be the main number one babyface because being nerdy is cool now? Sure, Gargano, how you wear your Iron Man tights. But Vince doesn't see it that way. He wants people that he can put his ideas on, and they can go out there and play them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you were talking about the difference in approach and the shift. Like, Vince will never not think of wrestling that way. Wrestling has moved on, and like Vince would never, like, Darby Allin is a draw. There is no way Vince would understand why Darby Allin is a draw. Why do kids like these things?
And doesn't want to understand it.
And two, he would even give him the chance because he looks at Darby Allin and he's half his size. He's not going to give him any chance. And in the meantime, Darby Allin is bringing 1 million plus viewers to TNT when he wrestles, and he's going to be in the main event of the next pay-per-view. I feel like him and CM Punk are going to be the actual main event.
I said it. I just put money on that still.
Wait, we're gonna bet. Huh? We're gonna put the money.
I'm saying no. I'm gonna.
David Francisco
I want to bet that CM Punk and Darby Allin will be CM Punk's first opponent.
I've shaken Tony Khan's hand once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he was backstage at the Ref Pro show. So
Oh,
like,
shit,
obviously this means that I
Well, when
know
was
the
this?
deal, right? I know the secrets.
Is he in London like that? Because I know obviously he owns Fulham and stuff.
He used to go to the Your Call shows a lot.
Swear.
He's a big wrestling fan. I think you can see him. Maybe you can't, but I definitely know this happened. That he was there at cockpit shows. Or Ref Pro. Yeah.
Do you know what's mad?
You just see him there.
Imagine if we were there, we
We didn't know.
didn't know.
Probably.
Because he doesn't. Do you know what it is? It's gonna sound mad. He doesn't look like a billionaire.
No.
Okay, you look at certain
The
billionaires.
billionaires always look, they don't look like a billionaire.
That's what's mad.
Tony Khan looks like the people that Undertaker are talking about now. The geeks that are
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
video games and
yeah.
not sniffing cocaine.
Tony Khan is one of the like 2000 foreign nerds
Yeah.
when he was growing up.
Tony Khan's what you call white meat baby face. That's what it's a white meat baby face. That's what you call white meat baby face. But yeah, it's nuts.
Like to your point, and that's why, like, according to Meltzer's report, like NXT are going to transition to younger big guys, because young guys, especially young guys in the wrestling industry, they don't have a character. A guy who's 20 hasn't developed their character, and if it's a big guy that Vince likes. But if it's a big guy that Vince
That's why we
likes,
don't pause that, man. Come on, man.
if it's a big guy that Vince likes, it's like he's got the why? This guy said yeah. I don't understand.
You don't pause that. Okay. No, you did it. I was trying to keep my composure. I was like, wait, what?
Anyways, if it's a guy, basically Vince can take a young talent and mold him to whatever he wants them to be. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think they're emphasizing younger talent. Of course,
Not even just younger talent. It's not going to be guys that are in the wrestling industry. They're going to go back to like recruitment, football players. Not even just the
Diva
They're going to recruit football players, wrestlers, these NCAA basketball players.
I want to see those guys doing the Diva Search.
Yeah. But technically, Diva Search for men's, was basically NXT when it first started.
No, it was tough enough. It was tough enough.
Tough enough was sad.
It was tough enough.
Tough enough was sad.
No, what I want is freaking Gable Stevenson, who won the gold medal in recruiting. I want to see him do a cat show. You know, I want to see him kind of be. You know, I want them to do everything they did in the Diva Search, but with his big guys. Right? Money.
But and you see that, and that's because I think, like I said, Vince wants ultimate control. He wants to be like, I'm the reason why people like these guys. This is my project, and with a lot of these talents that come from elsewhere, they've molded their wrestling philosophy from different places, and they don't fit Vince's vision. Like I said, wrestling today is far removed from what Vince do. So yeah, it makes sense why NXT's getting.
Is it a bad thing though?
What?
That he wants to now go back to this as
No.
opposed to like, I'm not too fussed about it.
It's not a bad thing, but when we look at their track record, they've never really been able to build someone up from scratch.
WWE?
No, but WWE.
What? John Cena?
Recently.
Yeah, because of the transition of the type of wrestling that NXT has been doing.
Yeah. No, this is even before NXT.
So like FCW?
This is from FCW. Other than that Cena generation.
Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Roman. Fam, they've got. I mean, he was an indie guy, but
No, but these guys had wrestling experience prior to that.
Roman Reigns came from that. How about
No, but I'm talking of people that like have never wrestled in the indies or anything.
Pretty much
Roman and Bray.
Okay, fair enough.
And even before that, if you go to OVW, you've got what's it called? You've got Brock Lesnar, you've got Shelton Benjamin, you've got Randy Orton, you've got Batista. There's
Okay.
We cannot lie and pretend that WWE haven't created stars through their development.
Not recently.
Obviously, because they had PWG Light.
But here's the thing. That's the reason why it didn't work is because, like,
WWE doesn't want to work for the wrestling fans. They want to go for the casual, right? The mainstream audience. And they think they know what that means. But if we look at it, I'm like, who really is an MMA fan and who went to see Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey fights? You know? Like, there's a difference between there's people that bought that Conor McGregor pay-per-views who do not care about MMA as a sport, but they're invested in
Conor himself, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And the reason why they eventually get invested in Conor McGregor as a character is because the MMA enthusiasts can really tell you, oh, this is a guy that is good,
legit.
and like it's the early adopters basically that they eventually like spread, and obviously like McGregor is very good to get his business out. Wrestling is evolving, and the mainstream is not going to care what the wrestling actually is. You were having a conversation a few weeks ago about like overrated people. You were mentioning The Rock and John Cena and everything. And how like you were having that conversation about being overrated and everything, and like the reason one of you was making a good point about like Rock is not the greatest wrestler in the world, but he's incredible. And we all know why he's incredible, and the reason why he is.
I think you said. No, I said The Rock's the greatest wrestler in the world.
It's whoever was the smartest one. And
That's the smartest one.
I'll take that.
I can't lie, The Rock. Yeah,
I'll take that.
But that's another discussion. We need a Rock appreciation episode still.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, the reason why he was good is like, sure, like he had 5 moves. He also had 5 moves to do. I never seen him do anything but those 5 moves. He knew how to get emotional connection. He knew how to get.
You knew how to work.
Care about it.
To work, yeah.
You know,
absolutely,
and it's like. It doesn't matter what the style of wrestling is for the mainstream ability. What they want is people that know how to make people care about it.
Exactly.
So, if you have the early adopters of any, like, if wrestling has evolved into being the style that it is right now, right, from the style that it was in the 80s, and you have the early adopters in NXT going, who's a good example? Fucking Sami Zayn, man. Like, Sami Zayn is going to be the biggest babyface in the next 10 years. But Vince is not invested in it. He doesn't go with it. He doesn't let the big reactions that Sami Zayn gets when he finally debuts on WWE TV carry him into giving him an opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
That disconnect's going to be there. Like, the mainstream doesn't care how good of a wrestler Sami Zayn is. They're going to see that it's cool to cheer Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn is really good at promos. He's really good at in the ring making you care about him. That's all they're going to get invested in. But because there's this obsession about this is not how you wrestle, this is not how you wrestle properly, which is an insane concept. Because all that matters in wrestling is, do people care? Are people connected? Are people going crazy about it? This isn't how you're supposed to wrestle. They cut the legs off talent that can have potential because they're not letting them do whatever they want. Darby Allin, they're like, I think it's the greatest example. He would never be able to get over the same way they did. Like, he's a draw. Darby Allin is a draw, effectively. He made AEW money, and he keeps doing it. He would never have that chance on WWE because they've had people who are better athletes than him, Leo Rush, as you guys mentioned, who would never get that chance because Vince wouldn't. He's stuck in his ways.
And there's very exceptions like for people like AJ Styles where he was so seasoned, and by the time like when he debuted, Vince was like, okay, hold on a minute. And then when he passed that test and he's safe to work with, and everyone is saying, yeah, he's good, then he gets that chance and he succeeds, then he does well. But going back to what you're saying, I'll go to that. But going back to what you're saying about that's why you see people like Viper become Doudrop, or you see people like Nikki become Nikki Ash because he wants characters, and even as well about the wrestling as well. I agree with that because it may not always be the people that we fuck with really that will become big, but at the main time, like, if you look at the last couple of people that's had a big moment, like Kofi Kingston, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, it's not the Vince prototype, but it was the reactions and the thing of people cared about these people enough to disrupt whatever they were doing, whatever program they were going with. It's like, you know what, let's give this a chance. And it popped off. After the season went, they're gone. So I think that mentality of Vince being character-centric and do people care will go over wrestling and how they wrestle.
Have you seen the reactions Nikki Ash is getting? Where it's like, she enters, people pop for her, she mentions the character aspects, so like the suit or the butterfly, and people boo those specific things. They like her, they want to care about her, but they don't like the character thing. And is there a bigger disconnect between who cares about what these fans think, this is what the mainstream actually cares about, and the actual reality of it, Think about that. Moment of silence to think about that.
I have a question for everyone. Yeah, do you guys feel, and this is in regards to wrestlers, do you feel with a lot of wrestlers signing, with WWE, especially when they've come from the indies. Do you feel like a lot of them have come into WWE unprepared?
Yes.
Because a lot of them, this is what I've always mentioned, but WWE has failed as a developmental, because you can see that this wrestler's strength is his in-ring. But when it now comes to the character work, which most of the time I don't blame a lot of wrestlers for not being able to speak, because when you're wrestling in places like Delaware and Michigan, where there's no real promotions, all you're doing is every week you're wrestling. And a lot of people don't really care for their character work. Do you feel like that is a lot of wrestlers' downfalls of not preparing themselves to get to that point?
I will say one thing, what you're saying about being prepared is you have to know, if you're going to WWE, what are they known for? And what does Vince want from you? Promos, someone that they can put on merch and to sell. So if you're going to be like, I can do a 6:30, can you speak? If you can't, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So at some point, you're going to need to hold that mic and speak.
Not even speak. Is can you speak the way Vince wants you to?
Can you be molded?
You know, which is a. That's another rant. There's a certain, as a trainer, me preparing someone to be successful in like indie wrestling and be able to wrestle as quickly as possible, or me preparing someone to go to WWE are two different things. Like I don't think they overlap, but at the end of the day, if it's like, if you come to me and you're like, I want you to get me a WWE contract in as fast as possible, I am not doing the same type of training as I want to be a wrestler and have some matches, because exactly what you're saying there, the things they care about are completely different. There's people who can cut good promos that get to WWE and can't cut a promo there because they're not used to scripts, or they don't talk the way that WWE talks, you know? Freaking Rhea Ripley going, I've been the Raw Women's Champion, and to be Raw Women's Champion, you need to know the balance between darkness and light. And I wonder if Nikki Ash can see that. This is a real promo she cut like 2 weeks ago on Raw.
Fucking hell.
All right? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You used to be cool.
Yeah.
But now you have this lingo that they want you to push, which is... pisses me off.
I feel like in terms of like indie wrestlers going to WWE, you have to understand that you're not going to be in NXT forever. And I feel like NXT for a long period of time was that environment where it was a natural transition from the indies to NXT. You could still be a part of it, you still be a bit of yourself. They might tweak a few things here and there, but they give you that freedom. But you always have to have in the back of your mind, okay, this NXT period is going to end. I'm going to have to go to the main roster. And we know the main roster is, in terms of just structurally, it's an entirely different place.
You know who's the exception to the rule and did that perfectly? Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
He figured it out. He figured it out. He understands, I need to entertain Vince. I need to do, he doesn't care how sick I am at wrestling. He's awesome at wrestling.
Is it because this gonna sound so mad? Yeah, is it because Matt Riddle's always out of it? I feel like whenever he's dude. He's always, I feel like he's out of it, fam. But when he wrestles, he turns on.
Like in RVD.
Yeah,
because Vince can recognize RVD, the fun-loving guy and weed smoker. Vince can identify that in Riddle. Riddle being smart, going, he likes that stuff.
He's
Play on
the
the
character of the stoner, and he's just like going with it. And obviously, he's entertaining Vince enough that he keeps giving him. He's working with Randy Orton.
Randy Orton looks sick, by the way.
This is gonna be a mad point, but I think the cases of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have kind of tricked a lot of these indie wrestlers into a false sense of reality. I feel like because obviously we saw that, like, in terms of like revolutionary wrestlers, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan led waved the flag for a lot of these indie talents. So a lot of these indie wrestlers might be seeing their success and be like, do you know what? I can emulate what they can do. I can emulate what they do.
You're going to carry.
Yeah, so a lot of these men are coming to companies saying, I can emulate what they do, but at the end of the day, what them lot did is generational stuff. Like, not everyone is gonna reach the apex of what them two did. And I feel like while they did usher in a wave of new talent, it kind of gave them a false bar to reach, because you can't reach that bar. Not everyone can be Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And even if you look, the roles that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk took to even get to the positions they were in, like, it was crazy. So I just feel like maybe them two's success kind of created a scenario where wrestlers think that I can reach for the stars when really the stars weren't made for you in WWE.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I'd find it hard to believe, because I feel like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk have always been wrestlers that have displayed character. So if you're just Johnny B something from Delaware that has never shown any sort of character work, you're decent in the ring, but then you've now looked at these two men as people that have reached the heights. There's no way you can look at yourself and say to myself, you know what? Because those two reached the heights, I'm not as good as them, I don't speak as well as them, I'm definitely going to reach the heights. I find it hard to believe.
But
I'm not gonna-
I think it's just because of where they came from.
yeah,
and
no,
what they
which is
represent.
true. But then at the same
And
time, if you look at both of their runs from the early 2000s to the 2010s, even before they even got to WWE, they've shown strong character work, no matter what promotion it is, whether it's in Noah, whether it's in TNA, whether it's in CZW, they've shown character work, and the groundwork from where they've started to where they've got to is completely different from Johnny B Delaware in Michigan that has only wrestled in bingo halls.
Johnny B's traveling around, you know.
Like, he's traveling, but he's not shown any type of
And
character
he's
work.
from London
It's
still.
not like now we're wrestling.
You remember his name?
Johnny B. Yeah, I need to make Johnny B. I need to make Johnny B on SmackDown. I don't know TK. Johnny B.
Do you know what? Do you know what wrestler? Do you know what wrestler I would say? Yeah,
He's got knee pads.
You're bad.
What?
Trying to do the.
What? What's that?
Is it
The CM Punk thing.
CM Punk thing?
When he goes in the ring.
No. Whoa. No. How did we get there?
There's a Titantron. I know.
I know you took it on his dentist.
Go on then, go on.
yeah.
go.
No, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry.
As a wrestler,
As a
there's
wrestler.
one wrestler.
Oh yeah, there's one wrestler that I think that understands the Sam. I don't think he's gonna be in the main roster. I think Adam Cole. Adam Cole's the one wrestler, where in terms of like ability, like he is a main roster talent except for height. And everything that Vince would want in the cat, anything that would appeal to a mainstream audience, promo ability, work rate, and we even saw in his stint in the when they did the whole Survivor Series with NXT, like. He was able to have a massive reaction from the crowd. I just think his height was working against him. But let's say if Adam Cole was like 6'4", I think he's a easy WWE.
He'd be a Drew McIntyre.
Wait,
Bruv,
yeah.
He'd be a
he's
Drew
a
McIntyre.
he's a WrestleMania main event.
Isn't Adam? Sorry, how tall is Adam Cole?
5'9",
How tall is Shawn Michaels?
6 foot.
Are you sure?
I'm sure Shawn Michaels is shorter than that. I'm sure he's like 5'11" or
That's
something.
something. Shawn Michaels.
Still Adam Cole.
But then you have to remember the era that Shawn Michaels came in. He
Oh,
came into
the
a
new
generation
gen, yeah.
where they're trying to
Yeah,
get rid of
yeah,
all the
yeah.
bulky man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And like Shawn Michaels is everything that Vince wanted to be.
Yeah,
We were
cocky,
talking
arrogant.
About, we were
Yeah.
talking about AJ Styles earlier. Like I'm not there. I don't know the people, but I'm like AJ Styles' personality is something that Vince would probably easily cling on to. There's a certain. And also because he's older, there's a different maturity, you know. I think it's what you were saying in conjunction to the kind of person that he is, right? And Shawn Michaels in the 80s and 90s was
Complete different person.
it was like I think like Vince has said this. That's what I get it from. Something like these are the people that he sees himself in, you know, like and that's why you'll see themselves in Shawn more than you'll like in the Undertaker's character, whatever it is, you know.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but following the Daniel Bryan CM Punk prototype, I think the only two people that's been able to build upon that success and have similar success, I would say, is Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. What do you guys think?
I think it's like they're the thing that carry them as well is their promo ability, the ability
And
to
that's
have to
the
just,
common
like,
thing that all four of them have.
I hear it with Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens.
AJ, I'm a bit unsure about AJ because I feel like AJ was already kind of like, I don't know, maybe because we've grown up watching AJ, so we've seen him at the heights he's gotten.
Vince
so,
had no idea.
no, of course,
AJ Styles.
yeah, no, which is true. But at the same time, it's like I've always held AJ in a higher regard to CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Just because I've always thought he was better than both.
Yeah. I think because of TNA, I spent too much time.
Yeah, because I grew up on TNA, I've always held AJ Styles as like because he was the man of that promotion. I always held him in high regards, as opposed to someone like Daniel Bryan that was running around the ring 50 times in the NXT challenge.
You're not gonna
losing every single match.
You're not gonna look at me weird, yeah. But when I first laid my eyes on CM Punk, when I mean CM Punk with the long.
You laid your eyes on him.
No, stop this, man. When I first saw CM Punk, and he had like the shorts, yeah. The shorts.
As in the baggy shorts.
The baggy shorts. Yeah. Did I thought CM Punk was a deathmatch wrestler?
I was there. He looked like.
So I didn't gravitate to it. So I was like, I'm not watching this guy. I thought he was a hardcore wrestler. I didn't watch him in it. It's only when he's come to WWE and he's joined like thing with ECW. That's when I.
You need to watch his last run in Ring of Honor.
Bruv,
Sick. Yeah, is that before he signed it when he's gonna CM Punk?
Like,
Yeah.
CM Punk is disgustingly talented, but I do hear you because you always saw that AJ Styles or somebody who carried that pedigree around like wrestling. That was never. You see, you see what happened to CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan. In WWE was booked poorly, was booked to look like a joke man, even though we knew he was presented in that way. AJ Styles in his career was never presented in that manner. He always retained.
There was one time.
You mean in WWE?
When he was with Christian and Tyson Tomko, he was a joke.
What about
Fortune?
No, not Fortune. He was with Tyson.
What about when he was with Ric Flair? When was Ric Flair?
No, Fortune. He was calm.
It's calm, yeah. When he had the
But when he was
rope.
with Christian Coalition, he was a joke, man.
Fair enough.
loved it.
It was good. It was good to see his range.
You
but he
guys
was a joke, man.
actually cared about TNA. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I did, you know. Do you know what's mad? TNA was do you know what it is?
That was a vibe back in the day.
Because I found it by accident. When you find stuff by accident, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something so mad, but we're gonna move. When you find it by accident, yeah, it's like
You
rough.
said worse than you.
No.
Last week he said that Chris Jericho's fifth label was going to be Chris Benoit's hologram.
Why are you saying it again? That is, do you know what's mad? Do you know what's mad? I didn't say that. You said that. You just said that now. Did you ever hear
And
that?
I like as well how like you set everyone up to be like, listen, what I'm about to say.
No, but listen. That's the thing on
But
this
it's not
podcast.
like we have a microphone recording in front
Trust
of us
me.
right now.
Trust me. Do you know who birthed that? Do you know who birthed that saying? Sam Blacks is the person that birthed that saying. I'm about to say something mad. When someone says that, everyone's like,
Like, listen, I am so happy I'm here for this. Let's go.
do you know what it is? No, it's not even mad.
Let's say
But,
it, go on.
huh?
And you said after.
It's like when you first discover. But yeah, it's.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
wow. Yeah,
You
that's
know
left.
what I mean?
That's left. Yeah,
I'm talking about?
wow.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, let's speak to David.
It went over my head.
When you first discover, like,
Oh,
it's
okay.
mad. You come across, you're like, oh shit,
What
that's
What is
mad.
that? Why is the image so?
Hey, look, brother, this is the podcast we've
But
done.
after you look over some last week. Get out here, man. And you were swearing
He knows
bears.
about porn.
Fam, you were swearing bears last week.
I wasn't.
knows about
You saw, I thought you said, you saw bears. What's his enough?
I saw because Nick Gage did it, but I forgot he was there.
Everyone was swearing, bro.
Yeah, everyone saw, man. What the hell, man? Come on, man.
No?
It's the wrestlings, man.
But
You
no.
saw. You saw.
I didn't swear.
You're swearing
You
your life
saw.
now. You
You
saw.
You saw. But yeah,
The point I was making, yeah, the point I was making was just like AJ
Brother, we
Styles.
did.
let's go. Go on. AJ Styles.
Yeah,
Not
the-
as bad as it.
The point is AJ Styles, like for a long period of time, retained his credibility amongst like the hardcore wrestling fans, and then even the point in which AJ Styles debuted, like he came off like being the leader of one of the hottest factions in the world. So I totally agree with the fact that AJ Styles always like
Yeah, he was always up in that regard.
yeah
didn't he?
always retained his prestige.
He was
innit?
just away from like the big one. He
yeah.
wasn't always up there.
Like he was always like the
But yeah,
const-
Kevin Owens,
yeah.
you're right. 100%.
Real quick though, there was a comment that you guys were saying about how CM Punk looked like a deathmatch wrestler. We're sitting with a guy who's had a deathmatch. We'll have to get a little
Oh
bit
my
of
days. Talk to me, man.
talk to us about it, because
Have you guys?
Yeah,
Have you guys
you
seen it?
spoke briefly before the podcast, but
It's on YouTube. All of it.
Tubes, like tubes.
No.
thank God.
We didn't. The venue was too small for that. You want to know who we did? We did Stapler.
Huh?
Yeah, Stapler.
Wait, in the head.
Ah, yeah.
Did they get the kebab sticks?
No. That didn't get that far.
Japanese death matches love that one. Oh, on top of the ladder. Bang! Ah! Because that is.
It's getting to America as well. Like they're
Yeah.
doing it a
Yeah,
lot.
they're
Just
doing
like
What the
seeing
kebab stick thing, yeah.
Yeah, they love it in
It's,
GCW.
yeah.
barbed wire.
Barbed wire, thumbtacks. We didn't do candlestick because someone hid my freaking candlestick, so I had to use something else.
Baseball bat.
No. I feel like there's something that happened that we didn't.
Piece of cut.
We're not-
That one's
like
serious.
it
man.
wasn't a thing yet. Like he was the one that made it a thing. Nick.
Yeah, he made it a
Now
thing. Yeah.
everyone's gonna use it. You know. Now it's gonna be a
They're gonna
thing.
rinse it.
You know, like but it's the same thing with the candlesticks. Like it be like for the past 3 years, it's been the thing.
Sandman's vex.
Like he's using.
Sandman is vex. Sandman is vex.
It was really. So it was me and Connor Mills, and basically the story up until
Oh, Conor Mills.
Connor Mills.
Oh,
The
swear.
guy you saw, yeah, it was him, me and him.
That's
did
mad.
There's a. I feel like I don't want to say it. People can just see it if they want. I'll say. Just skip 30 seconds. There's a.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
There's a crazy moment in the match where, that's the one I was forgetting. It's kick pad with thumbtacks.
Oh, wait.
Guys, what?
He
Yeah.
put from
Thumbtacks.
Facing upward.
and he glued it.
And then you know that he has a crazy move where he suplexes you and kicks
Yeah.
you.
Oh, that one.
So it was I superplex him.
Yeah.
I roll through to pick him up for like I'm doing the Falcon
And
Arrow
then
like
he-
Seth Rollins
and then
does.
he picked you
But
up.
he's the one that gets me the freaking move.
That I'm guessing that scratched you rather than actually piercing
Oh
you.
mate, it was my back was like a freaking what do you call it in English? The game with the boats like
Battleships.
battleship
Oh,
thing.
that's-
Honestly, it was a battleship map. Honestly.
That's nuts.
But what happened is like we did a really cool spot in the match where he's putting the kick pad on, which means he needs to take his shoe off, right? And I get to the kick pad before he's able to get it. I'm able to like throw it out, and the thumbtacks are on the floor. So it's barefoot to the thumbtacks.
Someone else done that. Who's done that before?
Joey Janela.
Joe Janela, he loves that.
Janela, he
He loves that spot.
Followed by powerbomb to the thumbtacks. And then like he kicks out of the cover right after the powerbombs. I'm laying him in thumbtacks, and I do this double springboard senton. He moves out of the way. Thumbtacks.
The thumbtacks wins the match. The thumbtacks is the winner.
We went all the way, and it was the only time. That's like the first time we connected. I presume it was you
it was
on
me that
Instagram.
messaged you, yeah.
Is the shot of him and I dead sitting on the chairs facing each other, like fighting each other. It ends with me doing the only Canadian destroyer I did in my life.
Shit.
It might be my favorite match I've ever done. Not because of the deathmatch aspect, but because the story is that like I've never had more singles matches than against him, and he never had more singles matches than against me. We're both the people that we've wrestled the most, and we've wrestled in everything. We've done like ladder matches, we've done like all kinds of matches that you can think of, and that match there is like, it's after hours. It's like the adult only show of Battle Pro at the time. Let's get these two guys who are not known as like the match before.
deathmatch guys.
Exactly. Like the show before the main event was OGMO and Paul Robinson. Like Paul Robinson is
He's a mad guy.
it's like, here's David Francisco and Connor Mills, two guys that you would never see in an environment like this, having this death match. They have a rivalry and there's a story there. And then there's also my story of my face turn, where it was like, it was important for me to get through a match like that and win to get the respect of the audience. Right?
Like not comparing to the guy, but like what Matt Cardona done recently.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand that guy, but but I wasn't really feeling like that. But when he won the match with Nick Gage,
he got you interested. I remember when
I
you guys
followed him
were
everything,
talking
bro.
about it. And it's like, on that one, it's like, here's the guy from the outside coming in and beating the death match. On my story is like, oh, actually, David Francisco kind of like earns our respect. Hopefully that was the idea afterwards. And I think it's the aspect of like, because I also like that the match, there's story to it, and there's like proper like emotional moments and stuff, which I really, really like it. I am not a deathmatch guy. I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but I'm not like known as someone that only does death matches, and I don't want to. But that match is really special, I think. You can see it for free on my YouTube channel.
Check it out.
Check his vlogs out as well. Let's quickly go into Ask Wrestling.
Where we ask you.
We ask
We
you
didn't even do
people
AEW.
to ask us.
shit,
Well, you
AEW.
get you people to ask us.
AEW. But
We've been
It is
talking.
what it is. We've been talking.
Having
bro.
fun, man.
It was sick. That's
Ask Wrestlers, we'll get you, the people, to ask us wrestling some questions. First question from our guy, Curdy316. He asked, do you plan to go to wrestling shows and do reviews once restrictions have been lifted fully? Also, what is the last WWE live event attended, and did you hear anything offensive? Do you plan to go to live wrestling shows and do reviews?
of course.
I mean,
we do that anyway.
We do vlogs anyway, so check that. I'm sure you've seen it, bro.
Yeah.
And what is the last WWE live event you attended, and did you hear anything offensive?
Nothing offensive.
Nothing offensive. We're all around kids, and they'll say in a name that can't be mentioned. But yeah.
What name did they say?
We'll talk. I can't mention. I'll tell you after.
Bleep anything.
I'll tell you after. Yeah. I'll tell you after.
We'll tell you guys after. JP Spielberg, he asked, do you feel as if NXT is a sinking ship?
Yeah.
We did it 90 minutes.
To be fair,
Titanic.
to be fair, it seems like a sinking ship, but next week's matches are looking brutal, fam. So
our guy, Mr. Frimpong, big you up every single time, bro.
my
He
guy,
asked, if AEW could only sign one more person from WWE, who would it be, and how and when would they debut?
Adam Cole.
sign Roman
go around
Reigns.
quickly,
Sign the biggest guy in the company.
No, they don't need him.
No, I'm saying Hulk Hogan thing. Sign him, bring him in, and he's like, do you get what I mean? New faction, bun it.
I would have said Samoa Joe when he was
Yes.
available.
Yes, Mo Joe should have
He
gone.
fixed them all.
I'd still a woman. I'd still Becky Lynch, probably.
Yeah, a woman needs to go over.
Yeah.
We need- you know what we need?
Becky.
I think like
Becky
a
Lynch.
top WWE woman in AEW.
Becky
Charlotte.
Lynch.
Way more of an impact than
Men.
Adam Cole, for
That's a
example.
good
Nothing
point.
against Adam Cole. It's just like
Yeah.
there's already a lot of people from the men's side in WWE that are getting an opportunity to really show themselves in AEW. I think like marketing wise as well. Imagine getting Becky Lynch.
That's
The
not.
internet will break.
Like on a Medusa moment where she comes to the title and drops the title.
Oh,
Just literally walk through and she goes, "Oh my gosh, it's Becky!"
And it's like
She
to
drops
me,
that demand t-shirt in the bin.
Yeah.
and then it's like you see Britt Baker doing this like bitchy character, and Becky Lynch also has this aggressive bitchy character. Imagine that face-off.
Nice.
Just like them standing in a ring looking at each other.
That would be The Rock versus Stone Cold.
Yeah,
I swear to you, that would be
yeah,
massive. That would be massive.
AWE hard, man.
Joey S808, he asked top 5 commentators of all time. Any promotion?
Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Don West.
Complete gas.
So everyone pick one, yeah. Everyone pick one, yeah.
Don
Pick
West.
one.
I got Gorilla Monsoon for me, man. He's nostalgic and I just love his voice, man.
I need to shout out Kevin Kelly. I think
Yes.
he's the best commentator in the world right now.
This guy hasn't been mentioned before in the podcast. I'm just going to say, well, you've probably said his name, Mike Tenay. I love him.
Mike Tenay
Yes.
from
TNA.
Isn't he?
He was in WCW.
WCW?
I think he was way better in WCW. because-
100%.
Oh, much better.
Only because of how he was used. In WCW, he could be the
Information.
exactly, which he's very good at, you know. Where in TNA he was forced to be the emotion, and he's not as good as that as just being the guy that what Excalibur does, just giving you all the info, right?
Mike Tenay was sick.
Yeah, man.
Is it NK?
Oh,
Get well soon,
Moro.
Rest.
Yeah, something. Yeah, he's got well soon. Huh?
Moro.
Yeah.
Justin, what's his name?
You
Justin
say yours?
Joel 4. He asked, what's everyone's favorite SummerSlam match? And shout out to you guys for the quality content. Big you up every single time.
SummerSlam
bro.
match.
Cena Daniel Bryan.
Huh?
I'm claiming that
Solid.
one.
Yeah.
John Cena Daniel Bryan.
For me, the second elimination chamber when Goldberg coming on smoke. Goldberg coming on smoke.
He met a hammer.
And he lost.
But that, do you know it's,
This was a Goldberg hating table.
no. Let me get things straight in it. Like obviously Goldberg can get the flack in it, but let's not forget what my man has done previous to what he's.
Listen, I've watched
Yeah.
like the entire WCW run until he got bad. It's incredible.
Amazing.
It's,
Yeah, no, it is.
Amazing.
It's insane.
Electrifying, like to the point where you're like you get goosebumps when you're watching this guy's matches.
It's not my favorite match, but it's a very noteworthy match. Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
One of mine. This is. I think this is his best match in WWE. AJ versus Cena.
I was gonna say that.
AJ versus Cena.
Then
Clear.
I'd say then. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, 2002.
Oh, that match was sick.
Yeah,
When Shawn Michaels came as a born again, and he had the jeans. That man,
Were they brown jeans as well?
no, they were like light blue. Like, please, he had Orange Cassidy jeans on. Without the barmaid.
You're dumb.
The Cowboy Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Cowboy, yeah, the boots and that, yeah.
Rockstar
No, but that was born again Shawn Michaels. Even he had Matthew. I think he had Matthew on Philippines. Yeah.
GG on wrestling, pick you up every single time, bro. Favorite signature taunt from a wrestler?
Torn.
DX suck it.
Are you okay?
I like that one.
Actually, wait, no. Okay.
I like Stone Cold flipping them off before he hits the line.
Yeah. Oh, the stomp, back, and he goes,
Stomp,
yeah.
I was gonna say for me, it's the DX suck it because I know every man has done that in school and got it.
I was gonna say the Undertaker eyes roll back. That one gets me, fam. It gasses me still. Oh, stop this stuff, man. I don't understand you, man, you know. Like, man can't even watch wrestling properly now because whenever I say something, you man are crazy, fam. Hey, what's the next one? You man are tapped.
Sweet Chinrab podcast. Big you guys up every
big up
time.
Chinrab.
Big you up, Dan. Dan asks, what finisher would you least like to take? I'm not gonna
Mr. Socko.
lie, a gotch style power drive. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, how's
Any power
that?
drive, I don't think I'd want to take. Yeah.
How's that look?
As much as so it's basically you see Cesaro's move where he holds the,
Neutralizer.
Oh, that one.
but then it's obviously a power drive.
Yeah, power drive, yeah.
Minoru Suzuki's move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Hey, they don't let me. I watched off topic. I watched Free Guy. I went to like a screening to watch Free Guy. Amazing film, by the way. You need to watch it if you're a big Fortnite fan or like a Roman player fan. He done a power driver.
I was there.
Yeah, it delivered it bare sick though. Ryan Reynolds, like,
Oh,
was
sir.
it? Yeah.
I love that game. I love the game of finding wrestling in action movies.
Yeah, same.
I watched John Wick during lockdown because I never watched.
Did he do the
before.
people on the rock bottom? Didn't he?
He does everything.
Yeah.
There's like people doing like runners and stuff. But there is the rock bottom.
He done the rock bottom. Yeah, he done it. Yeah, for the table. Yeah.
Wrestlers love doing their own wrestling moves in movies.
Triple H done it. He done it in Blade. He done it in Blade. He done it in Blade. I think he done it in Blade.
And The Rock that always does rock bottom.
Always.
I'm sure Big Show's done a choke slam before.
No, Bishop, he done choke slam in Jingle the Way.
I was there.
Yeah, he choked slam on Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
but it wasn't really a choke. He flew like.
Has John Cena done
He did, you know. He's done it. He's done it.
What?
He done it in his music video with Mers.
Okay.
When he's walking through the hood and after he throws him in the bin.
I want to see The Rock actually do the people's elbow in the movie.
Fam, that scene will be too long, fam. I can't lie. Where's he gonna run to?
I hope he does it like he drives the car over.
Trust me.
Drives the car the other way.
Fam, you see that Fast and Furious, bro.
My answer is Vertebraker, by the way.
Just-
I'm terrified.
Vertebrae. Yeah, I don't
What's
wanna take that
Vertebrae?
move.
Was that wait,
Hurricane's old move. Gringo Killer by Homicide.
when they, from the
oh,
back?
no,
Nah, I don't like that
I don't
one's
think I'll take that
painful.
move.
That one's painful still.
Smalls L, I mean, we've more or less answered this, but we'll just ask it again. In comparison to OVW and FCW, has NXT failed as a developmental company? Yeah.
Not for the women.
Not for the women.
Not for the women.
Yeah.
Not for the women.
But, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, pretty much, I guess. What else is there? Nabil Dad, big you up every single time, bro. He asked, what's your favourite finisher of all time?
All time. F5.
Super kick.
Who's super kick? Which one? Who's one?
Michaels.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
You got
Yeah,
to
same.
specify
But the
which
thing
one.
is, like, I know I have a thing for like simple moves
moves,
like
yeah.
that. Like, I think I got nothing against. I'm gonna sound like I don't like the RKO. I'm not saying that. I just wouldn't pick the RKO as a favorite because it's already too flashy. You know, like I tend to like the wrestlers that I tend to also have finishers that are simple. Like freaking Michaels with a super kick, Okada with just like the Rainmaker, and like it's just so basic, and I love it. You know.
My favourite's always been the F5.
F5. Fam, the first time I saw that move, I was like, what the hell was I was trying to figure out the technicality, because it's like a falling DDT, like you spin round, and even though I've won on the game when you throws you and it just starts like that. Fam, I think Brian Cage does that now, isn't it?
F10.
F10, yeah.
Now got Cyclone 2.
Cyclone 2, yeah. Cyclone 2. On the spot, yeah. Well, and after this one, he does this.
I actually don't know what my favourite finisher is.
I don't know.
You know? Are you sure?
I know.
How about
It's
like
almost a joke, I don't
moves
know.
from the top rope, like freaking Red Arrow and stuff like
Billy
that?
Kidman shooting star press, one of the best.
I love shooting.
Oh,
star press.
fam, when you, it's like I feel like you turn to like a fish, bro. Your body's like, do you know what I mean?
It's a perfect
It's
angle.
weird.
Yeah.
I like shooting star press, but I'm very selective of who
does
like
it?
to watch
Yeah.
do it. Like,
So Billy Kidman,
Billy
right?
Kidman is probably the best.
What about Evan Bourne, though?
Evan Bourne is probably the
Evan
best.
Bourne, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the highest one.
But someone like Paul London, I hate his. I hate
Pax
his
is
one.
my favorite.
Which one? Pax.
Pax, yeah.
I've actually.
His one's smooth. I think top rope move. I don't even know. Probably like a 450.
So I just thought of the previous.
Frog
question.
splash. I think frog splash is my
Yeah, yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
So you see the
Or elbow drop. I
previous-
love elbow drop.
See the previous
Yeah, elbow
question
drop,
of
elbow drop,
moves
yeah.
you wouldn't take. Or I wouldn't take Burden Hammer.
Ben Hammer's what's that again?
You mean the 90s AJPW Burden
Yes,
Hammer?
I'm not taking.
Yeah.
How's that go? How's that go again?
It's like, imagine an FU, but instead of them facing down, they face
They're facing
up.
up, and then.
Oh, that
and
one,
then-
slap on your face.
I'm not
Yeah,
taking that.
Drop-
yeah.
you
I
drop
can't
them on
lie.
the head.
That's a roller coaster. You got, you got.
You don't flip your chest.
Yeah.
You
drop
land
them on
it.
the
Oh,
neck.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh no, that
I
one.
think-
Drop them
think-
on the...
You gotta do that move very quick though.
That's long.
You can't take your time
Yeah,
with it.
my favorite. I think one of my favorite finishes is Kenta's go to sleep. When Kenta used to do
Yeah,
GTS,
GTS. Yeah.
live, perfect.
Let me not lie. My favorite finisher was the Canadian Destroyer, only when it was done by Pete Williams.
Sick.
I'll be in school just watching compilations of that all the time.
I used to Google how to do Canadian Destroyer.
You both
Until I
have to
saw a
flip.
video of the person actually showing like them flipping over. I was like,
You both have to flip at the
Did
same
you,
time.
did you get to your little brother? Come here, let me try something.
I nearly got there.
You've done it.
No, I
Have you
haven't.
F5'd your brother?
Yeah, I've been at five.
Come on.
That's,
When my brother first saw the F5, he was doing it to me all the time. F5.
You have to, fam. You have to try it out, fam.
Let's ask last question. By Nabil Dad again. What's your favorite theme song of all time?
Gangrel, the Brood theme song called Stone Cold Steve Austin had. Psycho Sid's when he came back in Sid Vicious, sorry, Sid Vicious?
96.
96 when he yeah, that one's cold, that one as well.
Can't like any of the rock songs. They gas me.
The last few I wasn't feeling, you know.
so you also like the Evolution song.
The Evolution.
It's the same song. Evolution The
yeah.
Rock, it's the same,
Same
riff,
song, yeah.
it's
Is
the
it?
same song.
Yeah.
Go listen to it.
Listen to it, yeah, it's true, no.
Go listen to it, it's the same song.
Dun,
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 dun, dun.
Oh,
dun,
easy.
It's the same song.
dun, dun,
I thought they
dun,
guessed.
dun.
I'm gonna say a song that I don't think anybody will mention, but I think Goldust's theme song is one of the best theme songs ever.
Shattered Dream.
I think it's one of the best theme songs ever.
Another-
And Razor Ramones, that one gasses me.
Yeah, Brock
Another
Lesnar.
two songs that are the same. Undertaker's You're Gonna Pay and I'm Back from Eric Bischoff. Listen to those songs. They're the same song. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh shit.
We need to give props to Jim Johnson.
I might have spinning, you know.
Man.
Nah,
My favorites are between My Time by Triple H.
Yeah.
and
Oh, that one's sick. Yeah.
It's my favorite Triple H one, and Kane's Slow Chemical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Dude. Can I ask a question? Yeah. I don't know if you guys know. Yeah. F&E. Yeah, but why was Goldberg allowed to carry on his theme song from WCW to WWE?
Because WWE on the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
bought-
Who made? Is it Jim Hart made that?
I'm not too sure.
Well,
Jimmy Hart made his first theme, which was like a
That first theme was
pastry,
dead.
but
That was dead.
it was
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
To be honest, it wasn't. It didn't.
It didn't fit him. It didn't fit him.
Yeah.
If it's someone like Juventus Guerrero or something.
You know the real story about that Jimmy Hart rights thing? It's like, apparently, and I think he said it, or someone close to him said it. When they made all those songs in WCW, no one filled the owner for the rights.
Oh, shit.
So
So he just gave it to him.
He wrote his name.
Oh, that's
He wrote his name there and took all the rights.
That's true. Because I'm looking at some of the songs.
It
I'm
didn't
like,
work. He didn't
Yeah.
work on the
Yeah.
songs, but like
Yeah.
he doesn't own. He didn't do all the songs.
not to be deep, but I look at some of the songs from WCW and I see Jimmy Hart's name. I was like, yo, he definitely didn't do that. I'm sorry, he definitely didn't do that one, bro. Definitely did that one.
I think my favorite wrestling theme song is Jeff Hardy's No Words.
No words is a
brought it back?
You know what's a banger?
It's a banger. I like that.
Nah, obviously for me, my goal, AJ Styles. Get ready to fly.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Get ready to fly. That's my favorite people of all time. Just gas.
Another
Super
gas one, I'm sorry to say, but New Jack's entrance and seeing him come out to it. That, even though it's not, even though he doesn't own the track, but fam,
was
it's
gas.
electrifying.
Even-
Comes out, I'm shook. I'm
Yeah, I'm scared. Yeah.
At home,
Even
I'm scared.
sorry.
The song starts playing. You're not even watching wrestling. The song starts playing.
You start seeing light tubes and
Do you know these people was cold as well? Jeff Jarrett, TNA.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, you see when you played that in the Clash last year?
Yeah, it went off.
Yeah, I think that's what the question is.
the question.
Wait, one more. I think there's an underrated theme song. It's the NWO Wolfpack's theme.
Oh, that's cold. Things, man. Monica's husband, thingy. He's the guy's rapping over it. You know Monica?
No.
The boy is Brandy and Monica.
He wasn't born them time. He's a bit young.
You don't know Brandy. You don't know the boy's
I
mine.
know Brandy, but I don't know who.
So gone over you.
Oh, if you know Monica, if I play the song, you know.
Flipping K-Coke in the mind. This man.
K-Coke bangs though. K-Coke's sick though. But I'll play Monica's song, you know. But her man basically rapped over it still. Skillet told me that still. Big up Skillet.
I'm not. Yeah, I've never really been a fan of the Wolfpack tune. My brother loves it.
Wolfpack tune is sick though.
Cameron
See
loves
murder,
it.
yeah,
I've
see murder.
always
That's
liked
thing. That's
I've always liked the original, but I don't like the Wolfpack. I don't care for the Wolfpack song.
Wolfpack was dead, but I like the song. Song was sick.
You guys remember Jericho's WCW Babyface song?
What is it, please? Because I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I think if you look like the 1996 Chris Jericho WCW,
Yeah,
you'll find it.
you'll probably
Yeah,
find it.
but
on
I look
YouTube,
for it still.
Yeah, so the questions. Yeah.
Good questions, yeah. Wow, mad. Hey,
I mean, I'm sure there's more, but yeah.
we got to run out of time. But yeah, we're gonna.
This was a long. This is the first time in a while we've done a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah. David, honestly,
lovely.
big you up, man. Big you up for coming on the show today,
It's
man.
been a long
Really
time
appreciate it.
coming.
Yeah, man. No, it was really. I had tons of fun. It was really cool. It's also like really cool how it wasn't an interview. We were just like.
No,
chatting,
listen.
you know?
Let me get one thing straight. When you come on Wrestling's podcast, we're not the type of guys that's gonna be like, yo, so when's the first time you banged your head on the table? Like we want to talk because we're boys, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And we love wrestling, so let's talk about the thing that we love. Obviously, we'll talk about where you're from and stuff, but we'll talk about something that we all love together.
We just want it to be a conversation.
Yeah, conversation, man.
We don't want you to feel like
Absolutely.
it's just formal questions. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got in the know if you know if you.
Yeah,
wanna
that's
have
that's for that. Yeah, for
conversation,
formal. Yeah.
It's just to chop it
I
up.
would love it, man. And like 2 hours just breeze through, and I really appreciate the thing. Well, if you want to know more about me, though, just,
Yeah, plug yourself. Plug.
Differences_1 on your favorite platform, Twitter, Instagram. I do have TikTok. I'm gonna invest more on it.
TikTok is
right?
the devil. I'll tell you why.
You just dated
I'm not gonna
yourself.
lie, my
I'm
TikTok-
sorry, but
yeah.
I went on it. I'll go on it for what 1 second. NK or Derek says something. No wait, I'm just saying. You don't even know what I'm gonna say. You don't even know what I'm gonna say.
I'm bleeping this out.
NK, what'd you send me? Wrestling videos.
Wrestling.
I watched that one wrestling video. I go on the homepage. I'm there for 2 hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how it works.
Fam, is no, you can't talk about you man.
Give me a sour chick.
You know you man are criminals. You know you man are criminals. You know you men are criminals because I didn't even mention none of that shit. You men are criminals. You men are criminals.
Yeah, wrestling.
You crazy guys. Listen, but yeah, David.
But yeah, __1. The two things. Well, if you like podcasts, I have my own.
Yeah.
Just like quick conversations that I have with people backstage. You know,
Oh,
very
sick,
similar.
sick.
It's like just 15-20 minutes, just a catch up, just see how my friends are doing, and I also do just like actually me just updating people on my life on my podcast. It's the David Francisco podcast. I know it's really original. I spent a lot of time thinking about that name. So yeah, just it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite platform is. David Francisco podcast.
Put it all in the description.
And I'm investing heavy as well on my YouTube channel, like vlogs, video. There's some retrospective. If you guys want to know more about me, I just put everything there. It's been my even lives, like the lives I used to do on Twitch, I'm doing them on YouTube now, where I'm just hang out with fans and stuff, which is really cool. And yeah, Twitter, Instagram, just follow me. That's where you can find out more about me. And if you guys want to check out wrestling in London, there's 2 companies running in London. 3 actually, because I think Eve is going to run at the end of September with just women. It's Ref Pro and Wrestle Purpose. We're going to run more shows. Follow Wrestle Purpose Wrestling on Instagram, Wrestle Purpose on Twitter, and keep your eyes peeled. I can't there's a show today. There's no point. It's sold out. All right, if you got the tickets, you did. If you didn't, gonna have to wait for next time. And it was really cool to. We didn't get the winners though. We'll need to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
It was really cool to like be able to be here today and just like do the ticket giveaway and just hang out. You're cool guys. I hope to see you in wrestling shows more. You know,
100%, man, 100%.
Boy, this has been Wrestlers. I've been Doughboy.
Lucha V.
Anarfi.
Man said, fuck your mic. Man said, no.
This is the clip you guys are gonna cut. This is one from this week.
Laps.
Can I use it now?
NK.
WRESTHINGS. Sorry.
And David Francisco.
It's WRESTHINGS. By the mandem, for the mandem. Bow.
We're not allowed to say that next word. Yeah. See you guys next week.
Jade Cargill, I love you. You just got to the end of the podcast, and if you've enjoyed what you've listened to, enjoyed what you watched, enjoyed the vibes, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bow.